starting soon.
I dropped my gunpla.
This is no
I'm glad I actually
Zaku,
know
boy.
some
No
people in this
Zaku.
chat.
No, all of them, I'm sure.
Hello everyone.
Oops.
Plavsky particles are dispersing. I hope everyone set their GP bases because today we are hoping to do this right. Hello and welcome to episode 23 of the OKKO Anime Club. Today we are once again trying to talk about Gundam Build Fighters.
The intro.
Fingers crossed.
I am back a shift. Joining me as always are my two wonderful hosts, Cam, Tensei Twister,
Hey!
and Ebby, Bizarre Jelly 5.
Hello.
And we are once again joined by our wonderful guest in the amazing sunglasses, Mr. Eric, MrAJCosplay. How you doing, Eric?
Perfectly fine. Great to be here, guys.
Yep.
Again.
Back
Good to be back.
again.
It's been so long since we spoke.
I know.
To everyone
Man,
who
having
turned
to
up-
watch Gundam Build Fighters again in one day was a real struggle.
Right. So to everyone who showed us, who showed up yesterday, really sorry again. Anyone who wasn't here, we streamed for about 20 minutes, had loads of problems, ended up having to shut it down because of internet bums. We seem to be going okay this time. All the tests we've done earlier in the day, seem to have no problems. So let's get.
Can I do general housekeeping stuff before we start?
Yeah,
Just
for sure.
Because it's in the episode that is no longer. For those of you who watched Terra for Mars, and are super mad at us for not doing the episode on Terra for Mars because of Cam's moving house stuff, don't worry. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that episode in about a month or so.
Yeah, we will do Terraformers again. Yeah, well, we must. I demand it.
I think that was everything that I really needed to say.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything else.
Hopefully, like fingers crossed, my internet should, touch wood, be fixed now. I made a stern call to Sky earlier, and the guy basically went, "Oh yeah, I can see what's wrong," and just like flicked a switch, and I haven't disconnected since. So here's hoping. But yeah.
Why don't
I'll
we
try-
get Eric to introduce himself again, as
Yep.
that is also gone.
So,
So,
yeah.
sorry
Let's do-
about
let's do
it.
that again.
Everyone who was here yesterday, be prepared for us to say everything we've already said because we want to make sure people who didn't get to see that get to see that. But if you were here, you're going to get some repetition. So, Eric, what's your name and where'd you come from?
Well, my YouTube handle is MrAJCosplay. On my channel, Anime Justice. My real name is Eric. You can call me whatever the hell you want because it doesn't really matter at this point. I do anime recommendation videos. I do anime analyzations, and I am a semi-professional cosplayer, or at least I hope to be in the future. You can even see maybe some pictures of my work and stuff on my Twitter or on my channel. If you can probably just find it in the chat or whatever. And yeah, I'm great to be here. It's an honor, guys. Talk about Gundam Build Fighters.
Yes.
I get the feeling people might be excited.
Yeah, man. Okay, so let's do the whole go around the circle thing again and repeat what we said yesterday. And starting with the same person we started with yesterday, being Tensei Twonky.
Me?
Me, you.
Me?
You.
I'm trying to remember what I said, but I suppose it doesn't really matter. I'll just say
Okay.
how I feel about. Right. So
I'm gonna
my
pretend.
experience,
I don't know
experience
what
with-
Cam thinks yet.
my experience with Gundam as a whole is quite limited. I watched Gundam Wing when I was like 12, when it was on Toonami, and the closest thing that I've really had since then was I watched all of Gundam Seed, the original series, not Destiny. I haven't seen Destiny. I've been told that I shouldn't. So,
Yep.
and I've seen like a couple of episodes of 00. So yeah, my Gundam knowledge is very limited. I've never really been particularly bothered about Gundam. Robots are cool, but that's kind of all I got out of it. Yeah, Gundam Build Fighters is insanely good though. I loved it so much because basically it's all the stuff that I thought was cool about Gundam, just in 25 episodes of them fighting and stuff, and it harkens me back to the old days of stuff like just stuff like Digimon and Beyblade and things like that, and just those kind of anime. It's just got that nostalgic feel to it. Medabots, in fact, that's what it makes me think of. Medabots, and it's so good. I love it so much. I've been converted.
Over to you, Abby.
I thought it was absolutely rubbish. 0 out of 10. No, I
And
thought
we're
it was.
kicking Abby out right now.
No, I'm hosting. You can't kick me. So I really liked it. I did feel like a lot of it was sort of lost on me because of, you know, the Gundam references that I clearly didn't get. I got the Matilda. There was a Matilda sound reference. I got that because
Because of Densho.
Matilda. But regardless of the fact that I don't really know anything about Gundam apart from that Bear Guy is the best one, I still really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good, and it created Bear Guy. So I'd say thumbs up.
That's a
And it reminded me of Beyblade, like Cam said.
Yep. And even though I jumped to me now, yesterday we went on to Eric afterwards, so we'll do the same. Repeat that thing that you had to say twice already.
Because the stream kept dying whenever I was put on the spot.
Yep.
That was fun. I think the internet just hates me. But my Gundam experience is extremely limited, probably even more than you guys, because I've never watched anything in the original Gundam timeline. I never even knew there was one until like less than a year ago. I never watched Gundam Seed and never watched Gundam O. The closest thing I watched was Gundam G over a decade ago when it was on Toonami. You know, Super Saiyan mechs and shining fingers galore. Mm-hmm. So in 2013, when me and my friends were looking through the seasonal charts and deciding what we were going to watch, because we decided, like, okay, we're going to watch this on our own, we're going to watch this together, and we came across Gundam Build Fighters. I read the description, I said, okay, this is clearly something that is in no way, shape, or form geared towards someone like me. And I just sort of left it at that. But then a few weeks later, one of my friends who is a Gundam fan, he comes up to me and says, Eric, you're a big fan of, like, tournament-style sports series, aren't you? I'm like, sure, I like Hajime no Ippo, I like Kuroko's Basket. And he says, I think you'll like this. And so he sits me down, and we marathoned the first 6 episodes. And by the time we were done, I was like on the edge of my seat thinking to myself, wow, I haven't felt this excited in a while. And I think part of that has to do with, like what Cam said, it sort of harkens back to the Megabots, to the Yu-Gi-Ohs, to the Beyblades, and all of those sort of simple shows that are centered around these fights, and just getting really hyped and excited about them. And then it just became a ritual then, watching it every week and just sort of fanboying about it, which is what I do with Alan now and Gundam Build Fighters Try.
It's how we started talking.
Yep.
It's like every time I tweet about Build Fighters Try, this guy favourites my tweets. I think a friendship's brewing here.
And he's already converted me to be a builder now, kind of.
Yep, you're friends with Alan, you have to build Gunpla.
And me. It literally happened today. I ordered my first Gunpla. I say my first, it's not really my first Gunpla. I've tried to build Gunpla before and it didn't go very well. But I'm confident that with Alan's help and advice, maybe him wearing a fake beard, I will build my first Gunpla. And it's of the Wing Gundam Fenice that is used. It's featured in the show. Because I thought, what better Gundam to build as my first Gundam than one from a show that I've actually watched and really enjoyed. So hey,
yeah.
That was kind of the same with mine. My first model was actually not based on an actual Gundam, but rather was the main character's Gunpla in the show. So I'm showing my noob here right now.
Sorry, Alan.
Nah, man, it's fine. You're in that part where you don't have a pile of them. Like, you get to build everything.
Oh, we don't have the wall today.
No, we don't. It's
Yeah,
because
we
I
don't
was
have
too
the
busy
wall,
setting
sadly.
everything up. I can do a peek of the wall and ruin everything.
Go on then.
There's the wall. There's Neo Zeon. There's Lady Gaga and Katajina Loose, just right here. There we go. And he's back to me again. And I'll rock on now. I quite like Gundam.
No.
I'm not sure if anyone's aware. Like, I'm on a scale of like not like to like. It's not bad. I quite like it. I've seen everything, pretty much. Apart from some. No, I've seen everything. And when I've also been like a massive fan of Gunpla in general for a very long time. It was actually Gunpla that got me into Gundam, because I got a model of the 00 when 00 second season first started airing, and I was like, man, this is cool. Because I've always like been into model kits and stuff, like whether it be like Airfix or Warhammer or anything like that, and I was like, it's a Gundam and it's cool, and so like wanting to get shot. Well, yeah, but whatever. And just wanting to build Gunpla is what kind of got me into Gundam in the first place, and so I watched through everything. And then when this came out, when this was first kind of announced, what I was expecting of it was for it to be what it is kind of in an expansion of the sort of idea that they started with the series called Mobile Suit Gunpla Beginning G, Mobile Suit Gunpla Beginning G or whatever. And in that show, it's kind of similar. It's a short OVA, and instead of like magic pixie dust bringing the plastic to life, you just kind of put it in an arcade machine and fight like that. And that was cool. But then this started, and it was just so much more. It was just kind of like balls to the walls, knob out action shonen with like some bloody likable characters doing really interesting things, actually teaching you about Gunpla and actually properly going ham on what Gunpla is about. And I mean, one complaint I hear from people, a big complaint I hear from people about the show is that it's not a Gundam show, and then I go, it's about magic toys. Of course it's not a Gundam show. Like, it's not like you'll see, it's not politics. It's like, of course not. It's a full-on action shonen sports tournament series, and it's a bloody good one.
And that's why it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Basically, like...
And this is it's gonna bring so many people into the franchise as well. That's the other thing, because I'll probably, like... I don't know, it's probably renewed my interest in Gundam as well. Because when I watched Seed, I did enjoy it. But I think the reason why I enjoyed Seed so much is because from what I felt, the politics side was it wasn't in the forefront. It was there, but it was kind of more in the background. Whereas I've kind of had trouble with some of the other shows for that reason. But this one has made me go, well, maybe I'll give it another go, because I like the robots.
Oh, this
So, yeah.
show made me do this today. Is I started building
The pink bear guy.
the pink 7-Eleven version of Bear Guy. So I must have had some sort of enjoyment from it, because it made me want to build Gunpla. But I had to watch all of Gundam Build Fighters yesterday, so I had to do it today instead.
No!
That's one thing that this show does in spades, is like, no matter what, you watch this and you're like, man, I want to start building Gunpla. Like,
Yeah.
it is very much, admittedly, an 8-hour toy advert. But
Absolutely.
yeah,
It's
like pretty
basically
much
Gundam fan service.
it shows you what you need to do. It teaches you how to build Gunpla. Like, it's very much after watching this show more than any other Gundam show, make you go, man, I want to do this, because it's about the hobby, and I just love it for that. Some people hate it for that, because they're like, oh, it's a big commercial shitbag just trying to sell toys, and it's like...
But that's like everything that we ever grew up with. Because
Yeah.
Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Beyblade, Digimon, pretty much all just sold toys and shitloads of them.
And I hate to break it to everyone, but that's what Gundam's always been.
Oh
That's
no, my timeline experience.
That's why the RX-78-2, the first lead Gundam, is red, white, and blue. Because initially, the first lead Gundam was meant to be like grey and like war-looking, and then everyone was just like, no, guys, you need to make this more toy-like
Bright,
so we can sell
colourful.
model kits. That's the reason Gundams look like Gundams, is because they needed to merchandise them like that. It's been like this from Square One. And I just adore the fact that this is going to get so many people into Gunpla, because Gunpla's really fun. Like, I
It's
can't
more
have...
fun when you build it with people rather
Yeah.
than sitting in a room by yourself.
Hey,
Yeah.
I built all of them
Can
by
I just-
myself.
Can I just derail the stream for 1 second?
Yeah.
To say, I just got an email on my phone from YouTube telling me that one of the test streams that we did earlier today has been blocked due to copyright. They're all private.
What did we do on them?
I don't know. It's so weird. I don't know. It's so weird. Anyway,
Okay.
sorry. Carry on. I had to say something because it's so surreal.
I was
Like,
wondering
I can't
why
even-
you were screwing up your face just then.
Yeah, I know. I was just reading it. Like, what? How could you even know?
What is even happening?
I hope that doesn't bugger up my channel. But anyway,
No, you'll be
I'll
right.
worry about that
Alright.
later.
So let's dial it back. Let's go to the start of the show, and we have a little setting, and we've got the kid living the life. Yeah, he lives in a gunpla shop, which first of all, like all the gunpla in this thing is like they're all real kits. I look at it and go, I've got
Basically.
that one, I've got that one, I want that one.
Basically, what Alan is like when he watches this show is like, I want to be that kid. I want to live at a Gundam shop. I want magic that makes my toys come to life that I can fight with them. I want to do spray painting. I want to do all this stuff because I
wanna
like
have an
Gundam.
incredibly hot mom.
Yeah. No, that's not
Wait,
it. It's
no,
like,
no, no, no,
I want to be living there, but I don't want to be related to her.
Yeah,
Like,
agreed.
cause
So you want to be raged.
Sayori's mum is like #1 anime mum now. She has overtaken Mrs. Kamiya from Digimon. Like,
No,
know
mate,
she
Iki's
makes-
mom from Medabots, Mrs. Tenryo.
Oh my
But
god.
just-
It's actually funny because this is a show that's like clearly geared towards kids, yet there was so much stuff out there not geared towards kids at all because of how hot and attractive all the characters are.
yup. It's way more so in Try. But
Yeah.
in this, it's very much like
Put it one way, Alan has a new waifu.
a little bit. We'll get onto that in like May or something. But it's just like with the bikini episode and everything.
Oh man,
Um,
that episode was amazing.
And fucking Ragey, and he's just like, don't worry,
You'll get there.
you'll get there.
Okay.
But going back to the start, and one of the things we started this discussion off with yesterday is what did everyone think of the actual kind of premise and reason why Gunpla Battle exists? In that it's Plavsky particles that react
Very
with the
nice.
plastic that Gunpla is made of, which is the same plastic everything's made of, FYI, and it just makes them jump about and fight.
It was amazing.
I think
Because-
for the kind of series that it is, it works well because, you know, you never, apart from Yu-Gi-Oh, kind of explained it a little bit, where it's like, oh, we made holograms that emit smells, so it makes it look like, you know, the monsters are there.
I think it's the dichotomy of you either have that, you either have something that's so out there and ridiculous that you just kind of accept it on the premise of absurdity, or you try and go the other way and go, these Gundams can fight each other because they're actually little robots that people have
Yeah.
built themselves. But obviously
And
they
that's
didn't want
just-
to do that. They
yeah.
wanted to keep the idea of these are actual toys that you can own.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like they went about it the right way. Because to be honest, if they were actual robots, it would just be Medabots. Simply put, it would literally just be Medabots. So I think, I don't know. You just sort of, I never questioned it once.
Yeah,
I think when they explained it, I went, "Pff, what? Okay.
It's like, that's fine, because the whole Aryan side of the series is easily like the biggest grey area.
I love that bit where it's just like, oh,
Unexplored.
really hot redheaded teenager apparently comes into the world and he's a magical prince. I love this show. I obviously immediately love this show. If
It's
people
just
know
like,
my taste in anime.
oh, he's Gunpla no Prince Sama.
It reminded me of Tacto a little bit, like
Why? Because he has red hair.
redhead, same sort of like design and stuff, I guess.
Why wasn't he voiced by Mamoru Miyano? Would have made it even better.
Nah, man, I fucking love Reiji's voice.
It's true. Everyone was voiced really well in this show,
Yeah.
I felt.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Obviously, especially Ral.
Yeah, shout out to Ral.
My bum itches! Oh, has he got
hemorrhoids?
hemorrhoids? He's definitely got hemorrhoids.
But
He spends the entire show talking about itching his bum and hanging out with a 14-year-old girl. Hey!
What are you about to say?
what I was saying
This is
before
weird.
was that a lot of shows try to explain it, like similar shows try to
Yeah.
explain it like Yu-Gi-Oh do. Yu-Gi-Oh did rather. And sometimes I think I prefer the fact that they at least tried to explain it, even if I wasn't like, oh, okay, that makes total sense. Because a lot of shonen shows that I've seen that are sort of similar to this just don't explain it. It's just like, oh yeah, magical bit beasts, Pokemon just a thing. You know, you just have to like accept it.
This is the thing.
that.
It's like if you were a kid back in the day, you wouldn't just accept it. You'd think it was real.
Yeah.
Like if I was like 7 years old watching Gundam Build Fighters, I'd be like going around my house trying to find the Plavsky particles. I'd be like, oh shit, where are they? Is there one under the sofa?
This just kind of reminds me, you saying that, is that when I was younger and watching Medabots, my friend fucking convinced me that they were real. He was just like, yeah, have you heard? Like, they're coming out, man. Like, my dad's got me one. And then I fucking asked my mum for a Medabot for Christmas. Like...
Just want to say as well, shout outs to Sayori for being voiced by Joey Jones.
I thought he was. Like,
He is.
He was.
That's because Sayori is Joey Jones. They're so similar in just how lovable and passionate and just like how innocent and how much you just want them to succeed.
But Gundam Build Fighters doesn't have a Heibo, so this is immediately not as good.
They need to make a Heibo Gunpla. Oh, that's what I could do.
It's got a Star Builder Straiku. Come on.
I want to have a Gunpla battle and then just get my
just put Hero
get the Hero Man. Put the Hero Man on there.
And he'd be like, no, that's made of the wrong plastic. And you'd be like, oh no.
It's made of the same plastic.
No, it's special Bandai plastic. Oh, actually,
Bandai plastic.
this is going way towards the end of the series and jumping the gun. But didn't you just love at the end where it's just like, oh shit, it's the bootlegs.
When it was in Fellini goes,
Yeah.
are they bootlegs?
Yeah. Because
I shit my whack. It was hilarious.
So I was just like, oh man, I'd forgotten about it, and I was like, yeah, this is right up Cam's alley now.
Best comment ever. Oh dear.
Okay.
Yeah.
So aside from magic crystals making particles, which was as explained as it really needed to be, but the Aryan thing, not really, because you get nothing beyond, I'm from Aryan. Crystals come from Aryan. I'm here now. Bye.
It's like in episode 2 or whatever, where he's just like, oh, it's glowing. See you later. Whoa.
Yeah, what was up
and then
with
that's
that?
yeah, what?
Like, where he teleports away, like early on in the series, it's the same
does
way
he
when
go?
they teleport away
Where
at
does
the
he
end.
go?
But
Yeah.
he wasn't going back to Aryan, so what was he doing?
And then he just comes
Conveniently
back.
trying to display who he actually is and where he comes
This is the thing as well. It negates itself because it negates the ending in a way because obviously he went back to wherever he went and then came back to Earth. So if he's gone back to Aryan now, I suppose you could say because the crystal that makes the Plavsky particles
Well, that's
is
the
gone,
thing.
he can't
is,
come
is
back.
that he can't basically, which is why at the end they're like, oh, we have to do our fight now or whatever because the crystal is gone. And then when it's like when Niels and what's her tits, like
Caroline.
yeah, Yajima Caroline. That bit was amazing, but I'm assuming like when they make the new Plavsky particles, it's obviously different.
Space.
Like they're like scientific versions. They're not like whatever the fuck they are originally.
Magic crystal particles.
Magic globies or something silly.
They they still had they still had Say's crystal at the end. I just thought like they tried to duplicate the particles that were still inside that one. And at NASA or something because I remember there was like a news article. I'm like, why are these kids in space?
It's like I'm up in space meeting Gabumon and Matt. Right, I'm going to ask another question that I asked early point yesterday, which is Eric. For you, seeing as you were sold on this so quickly, at what point was it when you first started watching that you were like, okay, this is something I need on my agenda?
Well, at first it was, I guess, the whole suspension of disbelief thing, because while I did accept the whole particles thing, sometime when they tried to explain it, like, oh, the more well-built your Gunpla is, the stronger it'll be, I'm like, how? Okay. I can accept that. But the real... And the fights were good. I'm glad that like none of them were dragged out to ridiculous lengths.
That's a good
Most
point,
of them were
actually.
only an episode long.
That was my favourite thing about this, because Yu-Gi-Oh!, just as a comparison, has card fights that they just go on for like 5 or 6 episodes sometimes.
Well, just
That's not okay.
just
Don't
tournament
do that.
sports and tournament shonen in general. Like you watch Hakusho and it's like, oh, it's a 10-episode fight, and you watch Kuroko or Ice Shield or something. Well, Ice Shield more specifically, where it's like a 12-episode game of football, and it's just like in this, it goes
Or
through
Slam
so
Dunk.
many different characters and so many different battles, and none of them outstay their welcome.
I actually definitely prefer like the shorter 1-episode fights, because then it's just like, okay, that was really cool, but now I can take a break and we can watch what's her face build the bear guy, and that's
Yeah.
great.
And that's what's really cool about it, is because it's not just like here's a battle, okay, next round here's another battle. It's not like it doesn't feel like fight of the week in any way. It all has a very consistent flow and into where it's going, and the fact that there is so much in between and so much connecting and building up the characters, moving from each fight to the next, that it never feels like you're just watching singular episodes that aren't connected.
I did feel like Gundam Build Fighters escalated extremely quickly, considering
Oh, yeah.
like take a show like Card Fight Vanguard. Yeah, Card Fight Vanguard goes, oh, this kid, he does a shot tournament. Oh, he did the shot tournament. Now he does like a town tournament, and then he goes to a regional tournament, and now he's going to the national tournament. Now he's going to the world tournament. Say just goes qualifiers, world tournament, bang,
I think
wins
like
the world tournament.
what I like about that is that it's a case of like, Sei has always been like a balling champ modeler. Like he's been a world-class modeler the whole time, but he's just like, because he had that fear that he didn't want to break his stuff. He was never able to go the distance, if you will. And so Reiji comes along, and Gan kids are like, "Nee, I want to use your gunpla." And then it's like, "Fuck off! I know you got a hot sister, but stop being annoying." And
Oh, she wasn't hot yet.
She wasn't hot yet. She was
wasn't
a
hot yet.
youngin at this point. And so Reiji comes in. They complete their unit. And I guess that's why I can kind of get behind the fact that it's escalated so quickly. It's just like he's got this magic prince, along with his abilities that have always been there that he couldn't take full advantage of, I guess. And also it's a much shorter show. Because from
it's only 25 episodes.
from the start, it was intended to be finished in 25 episodes or 25 episodes.
I guess they probably, I don't know, maybe they didn't know if they were going to do a second season or not, so they had to kind of end it on a good, on a point like that.
I think I'm pretty sure like they would have known pretty quickly that they wanted to carry on doing this when they were just like, look at all these fucking pre-orders.
Look at them all flowing in.
Look at all this money.
And
It's good that the fights never. I'm sorry.
no,
It's good.
You go.
It's good that the fights never overstayed their welcome, because, like you said, every it didn't feel like a battle of the week thing, like fights for the sake of fights. Every character you see carries over into something else. You see them later on, and every fight does in fact lead to another one, but that just adds to the scale, and eventually we're at the world tournament, where it's natural to have like a fight every episode.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess maybe the big fight that drew me in, that kind of gripped me, was the first fight between Sei and Reiji and I forgot his name before he becomes the
Yuki
Meijin.
Tatsuya.
Yeah, Tatsuya.
With the Zaku amazing.
That's one of my favorite fights in the show.
Yeah, man. It was
where they just completely destroy each other.
It was awesome.
And then you go, oh, so he had to drop Hao because they were going to lose to him, and if they lost to him, they wouldn't go to the World Tournament.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But instead, they just buy that round and then go knob off Gian Boy.
Yeah.
Gian Boy! Oh man,
his
that
mighty
kid.
shield.
I love that kid. He's hilarious. Whenever I saw... Well, yeah, I know, but whenever I saw him again, I was like, oh, bless him, he's trying.
Because a lot of the returning characters who you like introduced to have a match with that come back or whatever, they're there and they're like legitimate rivals and companions. But he was just like this iffy smell that just followed him around.
That guy is the Balkan Skull to
Yeah,
Sei and Reiji's
yeah.
Power Rangers.
He's like the
That's how
bully
that's
who's
how I
not
see it.
really a bully because he's it's like, give me your gunpla money. And then like I just love how he was so needlessly arrogant and always like, yeah, I'm gonna win and everything. And then at the end, when he fights when he fights Fellini in like that little open tournament to win the pile of Gunpla,
Oh yeah.
and he just gets wrecked. He's like, I'm here to scope my competition for next year, and it's like, you're here to get wrecked, bro.
My name's Fellini. Here's my new Gunpla. Oh, you're dead. What's that?
Oh,
You got a
no.
second shield? More like second dead.
Okay, let's talk about Fellini.
Fellini was great.
Whilst we're on
I
here.
like Fellini.
My favourite thing about Fellini is one of the earliest things you see of him is he's at some sort of cafe, some sort of food establishment. In this world, you can pick up women
With Gunpla.
with Gunpla. Like,
This
And
is a
it
world
was-
that Alan wants to go
yeah,
to.
man. I'll just walk over and be like, and they'll be like,
They'd be like, ooh,
snap fit
please,
scrub. That's not painted.
ooh, please set your GP base.
Just like, I would like to disperse Plavsky particles all over you, my dear.
Yes. Genius.
It won't work, I promise you.
Hey,
It could happen. Don't destroy the
this is
man's
a different
dream.
world, alright? I guess it's like, I don't know, what's the equivalent? Is there anything as popular in our world as Gunpla is in this one?
Drugs.
Like sandwiches, I guess?
Straight out there. I don't know. I'm pretty sure you can pick up women with drugs. I don't know if they'd necessarily be the woman you want, but
Well, it depends how heavy they are and how many drugs they're holding. 'Cause if they're holding too many drugs, they'll be too heavy to pick up.
yeah, it's true.
Anyway.
Where that came from.
Further thoughts on Fellini. I just love how much of a womanizer he was, but also how kind of charming he was in some
Yeah, at the
regards.
same time. And then just the fact that Reiji like roped him into training him without even, and he's just like, oh, okay. Oh, now my fingers hurt. Oh, now suddenly I'm Midorima from Kuroko no
And it's like,
Basket.
oh, now suddenly I'm any girl in a freaking slice of life with a crush trying to learn to cook.
Or so.
Yep. Also, or anything, and anything home economics related.
Come on.
I've never seen someone fuck up their hands that badly doing anything in
Yep.
real life.
Like building Gunpla, yeah. Like this is my Gunpla thumb.
Plumfer.
Focus. It's got some. You can't focus, but whatever.
Nope.
It's got some little nicks in it from when I've been doing this stuff. That's a Gunpla thumb. But I don't need a plaster on it. I don't like grab my X-Acto knife and go.
He's got calluses.
Yeah, man. I'm like an old woman that sews a lot, basically. In many regards.
23.
Shh. Shh. So Ebby,
Yeah.
as the female representative, how does Fellini scale on the rankings of lovely boys in Gundam Build Fighters?
He's not top 3. He's in top 5. But I will say, if there was a figure of him, I'll buy it.
Yeah. And I also adore the stuff that came off of him with Kirara.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because like she's introduced at the start and it's like, man, what a knob. Like they build a Gunpla for her, she's scraping at his thing, like cheating, and then she gets wrecked anyway, and then she comes back and she's just like, I adore you.
I want to know why in anime all idols do this. Like,
It's just an idol thing.
Because it's cute, yeah.
I don't know what it means. Hirada.
it's a
It's
Japanese
just like they're
thing.
just,
Yaradan.
they're just trying to be Ranker Lee, is what they're doing. And because, like, I was honestly surprised how much I ended up liking her towards the end, and I think the main reason I did was just because of Fellini.
And the chemistry between them.
Yeah, and it's just like,
Definitely.
like when he goes to that bar and she's in her disguise, and he's like, "Hey, baby," and she's like, "Oh, hi, Fellini." It's like, "Oh shit."
I thought that was like her natural clothes and everything, like the long brunette hair.
I guess. I'm not even sure because it seemed like, I mean, you're a cosplayer. You're a wig therapist.
Yeah.
So it just feels like logistically, which one would be easier to hide? Under which-
I wonder. I have no idea if like what she was wearing was a wig or if she just dyed it pink.
dyed it
because
pink
there
and
are
then dyed
some
it back
people
again
who
and
do
then
that.
dyed it pink.
I mean, it makes sense that it was a wig because like constantly dyeing hair just destroys it.
To be honest, they're probably both wigs, and she's just like bald.
Bald.
She's just like.
Wouldn't surprise me. There's some weird people that like. You'd be surprised how far people go to like cover stuff up. Surprisingly.
Okay. Now we've done a bit of that. Okay, what was the next kind of I guess quote unquote important battle following the Zaku Amazing? What was their first battle in the World Tournament? Was it against? Well, actually, no. The first string of stuff in the World Tournament was all of this kind of
a battle royale.
Battle royale stuff, which was really cool.
And they had to fight that giant freaking 10-foot thing.
Oh yeah, the Zaku that was just like
the 1:48 mega scale Zaku. And when I before that bit happened, and there's the guy with like the ship that comes in with all of Fellini's like people who hate him.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
That was one of my favourite parts.
He's like, we banded together
Just like,
to wreck you.
We'll do you over, Fellini, and everyone's like, right, let's help Fellini. Which is so funny that Fellini is doing all this womanizing, gets helped by some 12-year-olds. Like frickin' Say, and oh god, what's little kid in the dungarees' name? Mao.
Oh, Mao.
I only remember because that's the name of his frickin' Gunpla.
Crossbone Mao.
But like he gets saved by them. But the guy who actually has this big ship, I'm just thinking like, what are the rules of Gunpla tournament in terms of like size restriction or whatever? Because
you could just use your Neo Zeon and be
yeah, because in Build Fighters Try there are rules. It's basically like you have your normal size mobile suit, because it's 3-on-3 in Build Fighters Try. It's like you can have a normal size mobile suit, or your team can have one big mobile armor, basically. But in this, it's just like he's using this massive ship that's like carpet bombing. At one point, someone has the Psycho Gundam. You see, I'm not sure who fights it, but in one of the later one-on-one sections of the World Tournament, you see one of the people fighting the Psycho Gundam in like a bit in the montage, and he wrecks him. I think it was Niels who was fighting it. And the Psycho Gundam is huge. Like pretty much everything in Build Fighters is 1:1 44 scale kits. These small ones like this big, and the Psycho Gundam is like 14 inches tall or something. And it's just like, how are you allowed that? Like, how is that legal in this tournament? It's so much larger.
Well, remember when we were watching Beyblade?
Yeah.
And we were like, that's probably illegal. That's probably illegal. That's probably illegal.
It's like when they fight those three guys and they're like, oh, we've got all these bloody unmanned Gundams that just kind of come out. And it's like, oh yeah, we're good because there's like 100
Oh yeah, the
dollars.
little soldier guys.
Yeah. I mean, thing is, they say, oh yeah, they're unmanned units, so it's okay, but technically Gunpla are unmanned as well.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if you brought your Neo Zeon? That'd be like, please set your GP base, set Gundam, and you'd be like,
okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
But saying that, in that the GM Sniper K9 against the Camp for Amazing episode, that did feel a bit iffy to me. The one part where like he sends off the K9 backpack and it's like it's control artillery or something. Mm-hmm. It did seem like the separate guy was controlling it, which did feel like it became 2-on-1. But I'm not even sure. I'm not sure if the second brother was controlling it directly, because that would be against the rule, surely. If it's like he separates into two and then gets controlled by two separate things.
I think it's when you if you have attachments, because Say and Rage also had the thing with the booster pack.
Yeah.
On the back of their build strike. I think it's once they detach, control is immediately shifted to that. Because I've never seen like two independent pieces fight at the same time.
Yeah, I guess so, because it probably separated off to that, and by that episode was like, in my opinion, the best episode in the series. The Camp for Amazing versus GN Sniper K9, because that was like, and a lot of people say this as well, because there's just so much really like interesting tactics in there.
Yeah.
Like the fight starts and it's like, okay, what are my sniper points? I go there, and then it's like, okay, he's found us, right, separate, do all of this interesting stuff. And and then it's just like he goes back around to like where his weapons packs have dropped off, and then when the little, it's like 1 to 144 scale Xeon figure, and it's like, aha, we knew you did that, so we applied some slippy grease on the joints.
On the joints.
Which is like, oh, Majin, you're so amazing.
Oh,
That joke will never die.
Yep. And that was just so cool, because those guys, like, when you first sort of see them being a thing, it's like, oh, they're going to be dickheads.
Yeah, the twins.
And then they end up having, like, a really, really cool fight. And I also kind of didn't like in that episode where Say was like, they're not playing Gunpla properly. It's like, they're just fucking... They're doing it as they said. It's like, this is our war, man. Like,
they're not playing Gunpla properly. They are not smiling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being like, yeah, I love toys. I did one thing I did find, I suppose, quite difficult to digest, but at the same time kind of enjoyed, is just how seriously people take this in this world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How goddamn to the point where there exists a goddamn Gunpla mafia.
Yep.
And then you've got like the international Gunpla referees who are basically police officers, of which Say's dad is one of them. And I was just like, it's gotten to this scale. A war's fought with Gunpla. Like, how far does this
Well,
go?
yeah, if you could manually control them, you could definitely use them for espionage.
It's just like, what is
Like, can you
this?
imagine if this technology existed in the Cold War? And they'd just be like, oh, what's that? Oh, hello.
It's
Hello,
a little
little
toy."
Zaku in the corner of the room. It's like, ignore that. That just toy.
I can imagine like a Zaku with a swastika on it or something.
You could, like, make an actual, like, working gun out of Gunpla plastic and then control it with GM particles, and you'd have your own funnels. You'd be
Oh
like,
god,
just
that's
sprinkle sprinkle some Plavsky particles on there and then shoot someone in the head.
sprinkle like it's salt. Just like...
Yeah, exactly.
No,
It's
or
very
you
fast.
actually do use them as salt, and then you ingest them and become Gunpla. And it's like, and you go, I
This
can
episode.
move.
Is most of this episode going to be us going, if Gunpla was real, wars would be way cooler?
if Gunpla was real.
If
I mean,
Gunpla was real-
Plavsky particles were real.
technically.
It's not, is it? It's just a game.
It's like,
If
no,
Gunpla was
I-
real, I'd watch the news more
Look
often.
at this fictional robot. He's not really dead. That's just special effects.
3 of those are Valbraves, aren't they?
CG.
That's why I was pointing at the Arios.
I
Sorry,
thought you were just pointing
these
at
guys
the
will get
shelf.
demoted once I build more to fit on the shelf. We're going back on that, and something we mentioned yesterday is that pretty much every single conflict in this world, much like it is in Beyblade and Yu-Gi-Oh, is resolved through Gunpla. Like
Yeah.
the
I love that
freaking
stuff. I love
the Land Sharks episode where they go to the hot spring, and it's just like,
Yeah.
right, okay, so this proper serious matter, fight me for it with Gunpla. And he's like,
It's because it's that bit where Ral turns around and goes, "You're that guy who was really big into Gunpla back in the day."
Yeah.
Every adult who
Knows
is
Ral.
like an older adult knows Ral and was into Gunpla at some point.
yep.
and still is just like hidden in the wings. Considering this has obviously been around for like ages and ages, considering towards the end of the world tournament, there's that friggin' old guy who's like 75 or
Yeah.
whatever, and he's been
Oh.
fighting with Gunpla since he was a kid.
Not only
Miles
that, but there was
Master.
also that one bar that I think it was
With
Ralph.
all the cosplayers in it.
Yeah, and I just wanted them to open the door and just Alan be there because it was like the bar for the people who were big into Gunpla before the Gunpla boom, and I just
Yeah.
wanted like Alan to be there.
I'll make it happen. I'll edit it.
Isn't the guy from Team Nemesis with the glasses and the blonde hair called Alan?
Yes,
That's hilarious.
it's the best thing. And he actually has hair that's not that dissimilar to mine.
There you go, cosplay sorted.
Like, no, man, because he's not Majin.
That's
No,
true.
I can go as Majing and
Oh,
you can
man.
come as Alan.
Okay, we'll do that. If we end up both in the same country at one point, I'll be Alan. Wait.
Easy. I'll be Say's mom.
Oh,
I'll be there, guys.
make sure Emily's not on that holiday because I want you all to myself.
I forgot what I was going to say now. Oh, I just had this random thought. Have any of you guys seen The Legend of Koizumi?
No.
It's like it's basically about Koizumi, who's one of the prime ministers of Japan, who goes around playing other world leaders at mahjong. Imagine that with Gunpla. It's like the Prime Minister of Japan with his Gunpla going around fighting Kim Jong Un. Gunpla, go fight Stalin. Gunpla, Hitler. In
I think
Gunpla
the world
battles,
would
it'd be
be a
incredible.
much better place.
It would be.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
I do want to point out while I'm remembering this, actually, I like how the UK representative, in seconds of being introduced, had a fake heart attack.
Yeah.
I was like,
Uh,
that's our
Yeah.
representative.
I
then-
just love how
then
he's
his
from
grandson-
Manchester.
He's from down my way.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then it turns out that his grandson is an ultra badass that everyone's scared of.
Yep.
That part of the show was a little sketchier than some of the others for me, because all of the rivals in this thing have just built up. They're introduced way early on, so when you actually end up seeing them in their battles, like later on in the show, it has proper meaning. That rival
just
is
comes out of
introduced in
nowhere.
the same episode he's defeated in.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, like I actually thought in the start of the episode they did a good job of kind of building up and be like, yeah, he could have been a Magian, and it's like, oh, he's got a history, but it was just like in comparison to the other ones, I definitely cared nowhere near as much about that fight as I
Yeah.
did pretty much anything else that happened.
His the Gundam that he had, the Gunpla that he had was really cool though. I did really like his Gunpla. I might have to try and get one if one exists. I assume there is.
What, the F-91?
Yeah.
there he goes. There he goes.
Hey, Lou's back. Whey!
It's not
Nice.
like the colour that his one is, because his is a special one, but
His is red, yeah. I just like the thing that it kind of had like the chunky collar bits and stuff like that. It was cool.
Yeah, it looks like a really old model. I was actually going to
Yeah.
ask what like universe or series that was from.
well, the F-91 is from F-91, the movie, which is set in UC 156. It's basically one of the later entries into Universal Century. Linked to Crossbone.
Oh, Crossbone.
Yeah, set within a couple of years of Crossbone. So there we go. Okay, back to the last bit of the actual story we were talking about, which was in the midst of the preliminary section, I guess, if you want to call it.
The second to last final battle.
No, the way back when we actually, because we skipped a load of stuff. The
okay.
preliminary section of the World Tournament. So we had the big battle royale, and we had the Zaku, which got knobbed off, and we also at this point is when we first learn of the Aryan guy at the head of PPSC.
Oh,
Oh god, the chairman.
I loved him.
God.
I loved him.
Worst
Let's talk about
character.
the. Nah, okay.
Worst
He's
character.
annoying
He
and
was like-
everything, but the one part where he's like,
he's laying on
when he like hurts his foot, and he's just like, and she's like,
It's the fact that she
pain,
fucking...
pain, fly away, and she's like, he's
She
like,
does it.
oh.
Miss Maker.
It's like this
She's
big man
brilliant.
child.
And the point where she just like she goes with him at the end. Who
Yeah.
would do that?
It's because like they show you when they met, and he comes from the other world, and she's the one who came up with the idea of using Plavsky particles. And when you first see her in that flashback, she's dressed as Sailor. She's dressed as Sailor. Shah Aznabul's spoiler. I shouldn't have said that.
Shah Aznable spoiler.
Yep. And then, so after we had our big battle royale, where we introduced to that guy. Some of the other interesting preliminary stuff would be like the race.
That was so funny.
Because it was just like, here's a race, and then Fellini is like, I got a bike, and Nielsen's like, I've got Foon Psyche, the horse from G that the Master Gundam uses. It's just like, okay, I get it. It's just like, I feel like something's heavily favoured in this race. Like if someone stomps in with like a massive fatty, and it's like, well, you're not going to do well in this bit, are you?
I like how the tank was it the tank thing that won?
The
little-
Baku tank, yeah. The
Tanks don't move that fast.
but it's different though.
Yeah,
it's still half
plastic.
a tank. It's still half a tank. I don't care what you say. It's still half a tank,
It's made of plastic.
but it's still a tank. So therefore,
It's a plastic tank. And yeah, in that episode, I also find it so funny how it's just like, right, here's everyone else's races. I win. Okay, here's Say's race. Right, let's actually focus on this for a bit. And then he gets knobbed over by the freaking like Gunpla hitman. It's just like, and then Ral's just like, no, I will never let anyone interfere with those who truly care about model kits. He gets fucking smashed in the face, and he's like, no, and throws him on, and he sits on his little suitcase. And those are really cool, like those mobile things. That's like the equivalent of a dual disc.
A dual runner.
That just makes me think of the episode where you meet Say's dad properly for the first time, and he ends up having that bloody fight with the mafia guy in the toilet, and I swear he just straight up killed that guy. Like, if your face went straight like into a urinal at that sort of speed, you would be fucking dead.
The toilet flushes when he puts his head in it. It's just like, oh, let's give him a twirly.
It was incredible.
And I also love how that's when we find out that Say's dad has the fake beard.
Yep.
And we haven't actually spoken about that bit yet, where Say's dad runs into Isla and Reiji at the Gunpla shop and teaches them how to build Gunpla.
Yeah.
And he turns his game face on.
I didn't know that was his dad, and apparently I was supposed to know at that point.
You don't know, like, when you see them. It's sort of like implied because you've seen his dad's face before.
I clearly missed out on that because I didn't realise.
At the end of the episode where Reiji comes back, he's like, I built a Gunpla. Look at the nippers that this man gave me. And then Say goes, Dad.
Dad nippers.
Yeah,
it was when he took the beard off and it was like, I'm the Gundam police.
I'm the Gunpla police.
I still find it.
And
so
I was
funny.
like, oh, it's his dad. Hey. I got very excited.
When he does...
It's like, I think I worked it out fairly quickly just because like his facial structure and his hair.
Yeah.
I was like, that's clearly Say's dad.
And also
but
just his position
assumed,
in the story, I guess, the relevance of him actually being there.
Yeah. But I assumed that his beard was real.
Yeah,
like,
I did too.
I thought that his beard was real, and then he just rips it off, and I'm like, what? But his hair hasn't grown.
That's because they like built him up as this weird wandering nomad or something.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, has he gone off to the mountains to build Gunpla? What's going on?
It's like, this air compressor is powered by the running rivers.
Let me just say that, like, if I was Say's dad, I would never want to leave a wife that looks that good alone.
No, man.
Running a shop, especially with Ralph.
Even if there is some like rock solid trust.
He's
in
a devil of a man.
Yeah.
I would never want to leave that woman alone.
Never.
Especially with Ral, man. Ral's capable of anything. Like, he's fucking Ral. I mean, I know he's got hemorrhoids, but he's still a badass. Oh, I still can't believe they did that. It's fucking Ral. Like, there's no Zaku, boy. No Zaku.
No Zaku, boy. Oh,
and they just like take this like solid badass who has had some comical moments that people have really latched onto and just turns him into this like amazing comic relief guy that just won't leave, and he's wonderful.
Yeah, but at least he gets that crazy moment in the last episode where he teams up with Mao's master, and they do that crazy combo attack that just annihilates everyone.
Oh, that was so cool because it was just like that's the Beyblade moment.
Yeah.
He just spins in the sky and it's just like he uses his goof whips. Heat rods.
Yeah, it was heat rods.
Well, we're talking about the episode where Reiji builds his first gunpla. That hit home for me. That was so true. Like him putting the stickers on. That's me. I'm shit at putting stickers on gunpla because it sucks. It's the worst thing ever.
God, the stickers.
What else was it? Like, just him trying to build one and just be like, I could do this.
It's just because their hands were shaking and everything.
But I'm all like this. Like, I'm the most unsteady. So that's me.
You have them with the tweezers trying to get them precisely on the right spot.
And another great thing about that episode is that's sort of like a few stages into the little development of Isla and Reiji's relationship, so to call.
Yep.
And Isla's lovely. Oh my god, she's so good. Like the first bit where they're like running around getting the food, and then it's like, the last Nikuman. And then when the moment when it goes over into the ocean, it's like
the horror.
Like I feel like the loss of that pork bun was like significantly greater than anyone losing their Gunpla at any point. Like,
it's because they can fix a Gunpla, they can't fix a bun.
yeah, exactly. They're not chefs. Like, what the fuck is this?
It's actually funny because we were talking about vocal performances before. I think Isla's was probably my favorite because when she first got introduced and we first heard her speak, I'm like, okay, this is going to be like the stoic character that barely talks and is going to be really boring. But then when you see her getting obsessed over food and her pitch just like increased, it's so high. I'm like, okay,
I think
you're
she's
adorable.
sort of like a marginal. She's got some like marginal tsundere qualities, but not to the point where it's like fucking annoying. It's
she's
like,
definitely a tsundere.
Yeah, like the perfect kind. Like, she's not irritating. She doesn't feel like a bad person. She's just like cute about it.
And she's not voiced by Rie.
She's not just like Reggie, Urusai. And it's just like, fuck off. Louise, Shanna, fucking Tiger, just piss off and stop being in shows.
I want to talk about Isla a little bit because her story was the one that reminded me the most of Beyblade. So I liked it a lot. Now, you know, the whole like being controlled by some big evil corporation, but not really wanting to do it, but you can't not do it because of reasons or whatever.
Yeah,
that whole thing was just like, oh, that was in that was straight up in Beyblade. That was straight up in Beyblade.
Big evil corporation where their entire plot exists solely so some kid can watch a Gunpla win.
Yep.
Because the kid was like, I want to do a Gunpla battle, and then the grandpa's like, oh, no, sport, you're too young, so I'm going to engineer this system to make a Gunpla fighter that can't lose.
That was going way too far.
That story sort of happened twice in Beyblade, because it happened once with Kai in the first season, and then with Zio in the second season, so they must have really liked that idea.
Yep.
But,
well, that
I don't
happened
know,
a lot in the second season of Beyblade with various different people.
Did it?
Well, the kid who dies.
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot.
Shit, I forgot about that.
The kid who like straight up fucking dies, but in the English dub, they're like, yeah, he's in the hospital.
Dead.
Literally, like this is off track, but in this episode of Beyblade, this character that Kai's really attached to just dies. But in the English dub, we're told that he goes crazy and is put away. And he keeps like having moments where he just acts like the character's dead, but in the English dub he's not, and he's like, man, I can't believe it. It's my fault that happened to Wyatt. And I'm like, it's not that big of a deal. He's not dead or anything. he did. Okay.
But honestly, more closer than it being similar to Beyblade is that whole kind of a character controlled via technology to gain special powers in fighting is just a thing that's in loads of Gundam series, like throughout Universal Century. Like, you know, I explained in my Unicorn review everything what a new type is. Basically, there is like a artificial technological way to sort of force new type powers into people, and so they sort of control these like homeless children and random people and stuff to sort of like pilot sick mobile suits. And so that's very much a nod to that, especially when she pilots the Cubulate, which is a
with the funnels.
Yeah, and
I think
because
cool.
yeah, man,
I think so cool.
Fucking don't know who did the redesign for the Papillon, but like original Cubulate designed by like my favorite mechanical designer of all time, so is really cool. Okay, so
Funnels are just like.
All they need now, right? Later on in another series or whatever, just to complete everything, just to make me feel even more like it's harkening to Medabots and like Mega Man Battle Network and stuff like that. They need a Gunpla that doesn't have a fighter. It just appears in matches and beats people up,
so it's just
and then disappears. Yeah, exactly. They need a Rakusho. That would make me so happy, and it would immediately be my favorite thing ever.
That would be sick. And then it'd be like, oh shit, it's the original Meijin spirit in a Gunpla.
That'd be fantastic.
That would be amazing. Like if
they should do it.
If Plavsky Particles are, it's just like, I am the Idaime Meijin, and he'd have like, I'm not sure
Sunrise.
Giant douchebag apparently.
Sunrise, if you're watching this, Get
Come
on
on.
it.
Incredibly unlikely.
Get me, Cam, Eric, and Ebby like in on writing the scripts for Build Fighters Quad.
Build
You'll be
fighters.
on that shit.
That's just Gundams on quad bikes.
I do like how they went straight from Build Fighters to Build Fighters Try, because if they did Build Fighters Buy, that would like have other implications. But anyway, back on the stuff.
It would immediately canonize all the Say Reiji dojins.
Yep.
Oh god, there are those too.
They exist.
Well, look at how cute they are together on our picture. Can you blame them? We can blame them, because
Aww.
obviously you can't break the obvious canon ships of Say with China, and how his mother is just kind of forcing that down their throats.
That was
I liked
hilarious.
that,
I love
though.
Yeah,
I
'cause
love
it was
that.
great.
That's so good.
It's just because it was like, well, to be honest, there's no way you couldn't love that, because Rinko was on the screen. Like, whenever Say's mum is on the screen, it's automatically like amazing.
Yep.
It's true.
With
Especially when it's just those bits where that those two will be doing stuff, and then you can just see her in the background, with this
watching them.
shit-eating grin on her face, like yes, sleep with my son.
yeah,
Mommy wants
look
grandkids.
at my son. Look at her swimsuit. Look at her swimsuit. Just don't look at me, because, well,
That'd be
you'll probably
You'll probably get knocked out.
yeah.
Anyway,
That scene when Isla was staying at like their hotel room,
Yeah.
and they show up the next
Oh.
morning to like bring them for like.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved that so. I loved that so much that she got. Well, actually, no. We'll when we talk about that fight properly, we'll get onto that. But the next fight that came up after the preliminaries was when it's just like, oh no, we don't have 16 points, and it's Fellini against Reiji and Say.
Now see, that
Did-
was probably my favorite fight in the entire show.
That was sick. Like,
Yeah.
did anyone for a second think that Fellini was going to throw the match?
Not really.
I don't think so.
It was kind of obvious that he wouldn't, because they kept saying, "Oh, I suppose you're gonna throw the match, so they'll have it." And
Yeah,
you just
exactly.
see him. He never says he will. He's just sitting there thinking like they're gonna fight. I actually didn't know it was gonna end in a tie, though. I thought
Yeah.
that was gonna be the end of Fellini.
Yeah. Well, no, it wouldn't have been the end of Fellini, because no
Like-
matter what, he still would have gone on into the.
Oh right,
Because
but
if he lost, they would have still gone on. It's just that for like a tie just meant that they'd end up even.
the points were split.
The
Yeah,
points were split, so they still just about scraped in. But it would have the results of that match, in terms of who made it into top 16, wouldn't have changed at all. If unless Fellini won. But it was so fucking brutal. Like, it was like way more brutal than most of the other matches.
I know, yeah. That's what was so great about it. The fact that it was just so, and then by the end of it, you just see the two of them next to each other. They've got no arms.
And they just blow up.
yeah.
Yeah, they're just like,
Just blow up.
don't they both knock each other's heads off
Yeah.
as well? And it's
Yeah,
just like,
and
oh,
they're
his
still
head's gone.
fighting.
Now his head's gone. Way!
And that
Everyone's
fight,
dead.
that fight also had some cool and interesting battle tactics and stuff, because like where he does the bit with like the tripwire or whatever, it's like trip
Yeah.
you over, and it was really cool.
It was, and it's actually funny because if you really think about it, these are just like kids and grown men fighting with little plastic toys.
Yep.
So on paper, it's not really something you can get that serious about. But when you know how much time and effort like goes into making these things, and you just see them beating the shit out of each other,
Yep.
fist for fist, and you see Fellini's flashback, I'm like, wow, shit,
It's heavy, man.
yeah.
Next one following this, unless anyone else have anything else they want to say about this one? Next one, I
Fellini's
think.
badass. That's all.
Next one is them against Mao, I believe.
I really didn't like him that much. I don't know why.
Mao is
I
definitely
love
of the rivals. He was my least favorite.
Yeah.
I liked Mao. I just like Mao because
I
of his Kansai
knew
accent.
you were going to like him, because he's like the Genki-tron,
Yeah, man.
and he's like I'm hitchhiking and building a Kshatriya in the passenger seat.
No, he was Genki for a bit, and then he got his heart broken, and then he was
Yeah.
the opposite of Genki.
Oh my god.
Misaki!
Misaki-chan.
I just
Yeah.
love how he's just like, I'm gonna kiss you, and she lamps him, and it's like, no, my kokoro is brokero.
I thought that was a little weird because she was like much taller than him, and I just assumed was much older than him too.
How old is she then?
They never say. It
She
was.
looks
I
older,
assumed she was like.
because he looks like tiny.
He's little. I like Mao just because I like the hat. I always like it when they have when they bring in characters with regional Japanese accents.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just have this
Kansai
deep,
accents?
Yeah, exactly. I have this deep set fondness. Like anyone who's got a Kansai accent, an Osaka accent, anything like that. It just warms my heart, and the fact that you can like distinctly hear it as well. Now that I've got a basic knowledge of how the Japanese language works, whenever I hear someone talking with a Kansai accent, they're just talking complete gobbledygook, and
Yep.
I love it.
It's great.
Well, because in English, for them, it's like the equivalent of sort of a southern drawl or something, or
Yeah.
I'd probably find in
like a hillbilly accent.
if I make it more local to myself, it's kind of the difference between having like my accent, for example, and then going a bit further north and having someone with a Geordie accent, where their accent is so thick that you can barely understand them, even though you're speaking the same language.
Yup.
Because
No, actually, I think Geordie's like a separate language.
But it is basically that. Like from what little I know about the regional dialects, some of them are just so completely far removed from Japanese that Japanese native speakers can't understand them. It's hilarious. I love it. So yeah, I don't know. That just makes me happy. And then just Mao as a whole. He did annoy me a little bit when he was doing his whole Misaki.
Like I
was
didn't
like,
like
it's time for you to go.
a lot of what he was going for. Like I appreciated the bit where he's like lying down and he's like, right, how do I win? Oh shit, I can't. And
I just
then he
love
goes
the-
and visits and whines to his that's what I love actually. When he is sort of in despair, goes to his master, gets lamped on a bit, and then when they're talking for a bit about like who their favourite characters are,
Yeah.
who their favourite Gundam females are. And his freaking
His master.
his master says the freaking ship commander from Seed, and then literally what it does is play a scene which is one of the most notorious and hated on like repeated animation sections in Seed and Seed Destiny. The scene of her like falling forward and her boobs just flapping around like grapefruits. They use that like so much every time she fires everything, and it's just basically that was just a sick burn at sea.
My favourite thing with Mao was the one when it's when they're in the inn and they fight like the lone shark, the land shark guy, and basically Mao sets up his like lunar equipment, and the guy's like, "You can't use that. The moon ain't out, you silly bitch." And then Mao's like, "Fuck you, moonbeam," and he's dead. And then says like, "How on earth did you do that?" And Mao's just like, "That's my little secret."
Because for
See you
anyone who
later.
doesn't know, the satellite cannon that the X has, it's basically like there is like a space station on the moon that shoots a little beam down that goes into the X's chest unit, and then that powers it. It's not like lunar power or whatever, but that's how it initially works. Just for anyone who gave a shit.
I just like
Actually,
the fact
I
it's called the
was going to
satellite
ask.
cannon.
Yeah, the satellite cannon was awesome, but did they ever explain how he was able to use it?
No.
Like without the moon or a
No,
station?
because his
No.
there's a bit where like his things chip off, and it's like, oh, it's like solar reactive dingoes or something.
Solar
I
reactive
don't think that's what
dingoes.
they said.
I don't know. It's just like,
No.
oh, it's Gonpla. But so in the actual match itself, it was just a lot of like he was
Shouting?
shooting his beam a lot. They were getting angry, and then he got wrecked.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It was one of the least interesting of the final matches.
Which is a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still not bad though. Still not bad though.
Mm-mm, not bad at all. Just the least interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we move into even though I can't stand the mobile suit, the Gunpla rather, we move into the match with Niels Nielsen, which is fucking pro.
Niels Nielsen.
Shout out to Jimmy.
Yep. And that's not racist at all, because Niels Nielsen is Jimmy, okay?
It's true.
Jimmy's, aside from the fact that he's a tiny, tiny little black boy, he's, Jimmy's favourite mobile suit is the Astray Red Frame Kai, which is the mobile suit that the Sengoku Astray is based on. Jimmy's favourite anime is Samurai Champloo. Niels Nielsen is Samurai Boy. Like, they're just the same. They are clearly
And
the
then
same person.
And then he spends half the anime dressed as a friggin' ninja. I never got that.
Because he was like spying on the
But-
company to
I
find
know,
out the
but it's-
secret of Plavsky
Should be
particles.
Ninja Boy.
I love the bit where it's like interesting how he's got a Japanese mobile suit, but he uses Chinese martial arts.
And he's American.
And he's American.
Oh, that was one of the things that I fucking loved about this show was when they had like the one American tournament. Like the guys come out on stage to like fire coming up everywhere, and the Japanese ones are just nothing like that.
Oh man, I did quite like Nils Nielsen. I thought he was quite interesting because he's kind of
I
he's
didn't
the
enjoy
more
him.
he's the more like deadpan, down to earth character, but he
Yeah.
ends up getting strung along with all their antics. I mean, just look at bloody what's her name, Caroline.
Caroline, Yajima,
Caroline.
Caroline.
And just the fact that she just turns around and goes, "Yeah, my grandfather's sponsoring you, so you're my boyfriend."
Yep. And now we're engaged.
Yeah, and then just the fact that Neil's reaction is, "Really? How do you gather that?" Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I guess I got a girlfriend now. Better change my Facebook status.
It's great because everyone is just so passionate and over the top in the show, and he's just sort of the straight man to
Exactly,
everything
yeah. Which
because
is
he
just
doesn't
brilliant.
get it.
So even though he's quite a plain character, and in any other setting I'd probably find him quite boring, but just the fact that he's that archetype in this wacky world where everyone is so hype
Yep.
and so just over the top, he just for some reason just fits in perfectly.
I fucking love the fact that they introduced him like he has 3 PhDs at age 13. I was like, what?
It's basically he's real clever, yeah.
Yeah, mate.
So he's really sick at Gunpla. Like him having PhDs is kind of irrelevant in that regard because that's like those are artistic skills that he's using, but whatever. And he did very much annoy me as he was meant to when he goes and meets up with him and he goes, you know what, I'll let you win. And it's like he's gonna get wrecked. Like, oh.
So when Sage's just like, "You what? How dare you say that to me? How dare you?"
This is Say, man. Say is so like little naive and he keeps himself to himself, and it's just this guy's just like, you know, you can say what you want about me, but you don't fucking mess with Gunpla Battle. Right?
I will cut you with my X-Acto knife.
Yeah. I will sand
I'll do-
off your nose.
I'll get my X-Acto knife and put it under your fingernail. It'll be really annoying and really painful. You won't be able to get rid of it for weeks.
And then the actual fight itself was just like the most shonen brawly of all of them because it was just kind of like build
It's just
luckily LCS discharge system, and then he's like, my big stupid back chomper will chomp and I will have my special.
My special shield.
It's okay though because I'm gonna win by gumming up my arm with glue.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. It was like, oh shit,
Which-
glue.
My one weakness. But now the whole glue thing makes me think that we should dial it back a bit to the episode where Caroline first turns up, where they have the Gundam Knight SD versus Bear Guy San.
Oh, Bear Guy.
And the
With the
debut of Bear Guy San, we completely skipped past that.
It's because
Oh.
we spoke about it yesterday. And
I know, yeah, so I think we need to revisit that because that was easily one of my favourite fights, just because it was so ridiculous.
You see Bear Guy trying to run
Yep.
and dodge.
I mean,
fire.
It's the most derpy thing.
Even before that though, like in the episode where it's one of the like nicest parts between China and Sei because like shit he's in a tough like he's like trying to make the Star Build strike better, and then she comes in, she's like, can you teach me how to build Gunpla? Okay.
I just love it. I think it's absolutely genius. And then also, not only is this the introduction of Bear Guy San and the ridiculousness that comes with that, but it's also the first time you see an SD Gunpla,
Yeah.
which completely blindsided me. I knew that Bear Guy San was going to make an appearance, but he's, I mean, at least he's kind of got Gunpla proportions. And then SD Gundam Knight turns up, and I was just like, what? This is amazing.
Yep, and it turns into it's one of the ones that transforms, so it turns into
Yeah.
a centaur.
Exactly. I was just like, and then when it turns to the center, I was like, what is this? Is this suddenly Saint Seiya now?
And when it gets stabbed, it just bounces away. And it's like, what? Bear Guy's backstory is that he was a teddy bear and he turned into a robot.
She's the cutest. She's
Yep.
the cutest. She's the cutest.
So he's
She's
filled with
just-
cotton wool. I just love the bit at the end when like she tries to fire the gun, and all that comes out is cotton wool, and it just kind of bundles up the gunpla and then just ejects it from the arena. So all you get is this like Gundam head in a ball of cotton wool just bouncing around at the end. I was just like, oh,
So I guess you can
Perfect.
stadium out in
Yeah.
Magic Gunpla battles.
And then it was just like, oh, she only came second because they didn't have a spare arm. It's like, fucking, where's Abby when you need her, you know?
yeah, exactly. She's got like
Abby-
12.
Yep. We just be like, I give you this one, don't break it though.
I'd never be able to do Gunpla battles because I like.
Do you
my
reckon?
bird.
Do you reckon that's where Say got the idea for gumming up the arm with glue?
Yeah, man.
It's because he didn't have any. When he was rummaging through his box while the timer was counting down, he was thinking, "Shit, I haven't got any cotton wool. Fuck."
Yeah. I love that they did that because it was just like, yeah, a minute for repairs, and then like Niels just stands there and goes, "What? How did I do lose?" And then says like, "Urgh," and it's like 2 seconds to go, and then he just kind of. What I think happens is he literally will have thrown it.
Yeah, he
from
literally
there,
just
and he will have
lobs
gone
it.
in, and then it did the tactical's reaction. He's like, "Ugh."
That was the bit. He just chucks it, and he's like, "Yes." I love that though, because at first I was like, "Why the hell have they stopped the match?" And then I was like, "Ah, yes, neither of them have any arms. They can't
Yeah.
really carry on fighting."
It was just like kicked.
It's like, "Oh yeah, okay, that would cause a
And
problem."
the end of that fight is just pro. Because it's just like where he's just like, discharge all particles into this arm. And then he just fucking punches through him, and it's just like, yeah.
No, he punches through the swords, and then like in a split second he uses the shield. I'm like, fuck! But then he just breaks right through
Yep.
the shield
Just trashes it.
and destroys everything. That was great.
That is like we've talked about it before, but when in Build Fighters, when a fight gets like that and like really visceral,
Yeah.
it's so satisfying. Like even like this just is watching these little gumplas get just like ripped apart.
Yep.
There's just
The worst
something.
for that was the Isla and Fellini fight after he concedes, and
Yeah.
then she just continues to
Oh
stab.
yeah,
That made me feel something.
Well, that's actually the optimal point to move on to here, because that's what comes
That's the
next after this.
It's the next one,
next
isn't it?
fight.
Yeah.
That is the next fight. And that was a big deal.
Poor Fellini, man, and
Yeah.
and poor Isla as well, because it's horrible. And just this is skipping ahead a bit, but Reiji's reaction at the end and
Oh,
the way
yeah.
that he speaks to her is just like it's so emotionally charged. And I was just like, this
was
is
proper on-
pure.
How could you?
Because you feel
Pure
bad,
rage.
because you're just
Yeah.
like, pure rage.
You know-
And I was like, no, my OTP.
That's the thing. Like I mean, obviously you've got the advantage, the vantage point of knowing what's going on both sides of the story, but you still can't blame Reiji for being as angry as he is, and it's just
Yeah.
like, and that's what makes it more painful in a way, because it's like,
Yeah.
oh my god, you're so justified in saying all of this, but at the same time,
She didn't mean to do it. She was
I'll be
like
back in 1 second.
weird mind control.
What?
Oh,
you couldn't deal with it. All the emotions came flooding back.
I've got to go for a Waz.
Oh, good.
I'm too emotional.
has to pee out his emotions.
I really liked Isla though in general. Like the whole like build up to that point where Reiji was like super fucking mad at her. I felt like that was really nice payoff in a way. Because he wasn't like, oh, it's okay. We're still friends. It good, you know.
No, it was you just crossed the line. You're a bitch. I don't care that you build Gunpla. I don't care that you hid the fact that you build Gunpla from me. I don't care that you hid the fact that you're in this tournament. But I do give a shit about the fact that you've done this. This is horrible.
And I was like, oh, but I ship you two. This can't be allowed.
But they have to overcome their challenges for it to be worthwhile at the end.
Yeah.
And also, the good thing about this episode as well is it finally gives context to that bloody costume.
Yeah, I like how they were like, oh, they'll just assume it's a cosplay. It's not like a mind controlling device or anything.
Oh, not at
just
all.
a cosplay. What?
I was supposed to amplify her new type powers,
Yeah.
and they just cranked it up so much to the point where she emotionally didn't even know what she
That
was doing
bit,
anymore.
that bit where it starts like blending into kind of like the fisheye sort of effect, and her
Yeah.
face is just like. Oh man, I did like the fact that they bring that back later on as well. Like I'm glad that they didn't just kind of have this as a one-off and
Yeah.
then throw it away. They brought it back later on with the Meijin battle.
Mm-hmm.
That made me feel probably
Oh,
a bit
that
too much as well.
sucks.
That was like really shitty.
Like if we were gonna rate the boys,
Oh
personally
man,
for
there we
me,
go.
Yuki would be number one, because just the way that he pushes his hair back just makes me.
Yeah,
makes me
Whenever he gets
fucking-
into
It's
he's
like-
in Gunpla battle mode.
it's business time.
I wish
That
my
makes
hair
me feel
could stay
Come
like
on,
that.
Eddie, what's on this topic then? What's your top five? Top five Build
Yuki.
Fighter boys.
Top five Totty.
Yuki,
Top five.
Reiji, Sei, Fellini.
There's only
Is,
two
is
other
there
boys.
only is there only a top four? you got Niels and Mao, or are either of
Just
them
for
even?
looks. Just for looks. Julian.
Ganboy. Julian.
Yeah.
Julian.
He is pretty hot, to be fair.
True.
What about Alan?
Oh shit! Sorry. He's number one.
Yeah,
Alan was such a bro in that show,
he was.
as he is in real life.
I love it when this character's called Alan because we get to do silly exchanges like this.
I want there to be a character called Cam.
I want there
Yeah.
to be a character called Eric.
Yeah.
There'll probably never be a character called Ebby, since that literally means prawn. So
The Epi Gundam!
Isn't that just cancer from Gundam Wing?
Yeah, a little bit.
anyway, what was the fight after that one then?
After have we actually moved on? Have we spoken about the actual fight?
Oh, the
against
actual
The
fight
Tyler
actual
itself?
fight itself.
Yeah,
It's just, well, not really, no. It was just brutal, wasn't it?
it was fucking
And
pro.
I kind of like the fact that Fellini like had the edge, and they were kind of fighting on equal terms.
Yeah, he
And-
beat the funnels.
Yeah,
man.
exactly. And then you had this like, you obviously had Isla in in the control, just kind of going, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
This is
and then
messed
they're
up.
like, right, let's put it in the red area. And
Let's
that's
crank it up, and then suddenly
Crank up
she's
to
just
11.
like, ah,
Rage Blaster.
I'm gonna rip your head off, mate. Oh.
And then we have the actual, the eventual fight between Sei and Reiji and Isla, which was sick. Because it's just like,
Yep.
oh, he's got Vulcans with orange spray paint in. And so they get rid of those, and then they are just straight up about to lose. Like, they will have lost if she didn't prang out.
Yeah.
Because they're just
Yeah.
like, I'll stab you with my pokey.
And then they have
she's
that,
like, no, it's Reiji, I love him.
and then they get transported to magical fairy world and have a bit of
Yeah.
a chat before they carry on.
And she's like, come
Yeah.
live at Sei's mum's house.
Yeah,
It's fine.
come live with us. Even though I'm just a freeloader.
Yeah,
I can totally
I
make
loved that so
call.
much. So just like, yeah, because I could just imagine that living situation. Like if that ever did happen, and like they didn't get like sucked back into, that would have been wonderful.
Oh my god.
A lot of people's top boys are Fellini, and Ral. Ral.
Yeah, obviously Ral.
Ral and Ral.
Ral.
Ral, and Ral's hemorrhoids.
God. If we were actually going to talk about it now, what are our top 5 girls? Because man, like freaking
Sei's mom.
like
Sei's mom.
China, Sei's mom, and Isla are like so good. All 3 of them are, and it's hard to really admit
Mine
that Sei's
would
mom's
go-
obviously the best.
Mine would go Isla, China, Sei's mum.
Do you know what makes me sad? There's in the episode where you see China fight for the first time with Bear Guy San, her first opponent, I really liked that girl's design because she had kind of like that tomboyish look about it, and I was like, that design is unique enough that she's going to turn up again. No, complete throwaway. And I was just like, oh, you had such potential.
My favorite has to be Sei's mom, China, and then Isla.
Oh,
Yeah,
everyone's like Isla, best girl.
I might put
Literally
Isla,
everyone.
Say's mom all the way.
I think I might put Isla. I'll probably put Isla above China. Because I really did adore them. I love them all so much. Like the difference between them is so minimal. Like they're all
But
so.
if we added,
All I'm gonna say is, I've noticed that in these lists, I've noticed a distinct lack of Kirara, and I've noticed that a distinct lack
Caroline.
Caroline is missing, and Misaki is missing from the list because she, to be fair, was the most ineffectual character in the whole thing.
Yeah.
but what would happen if we put Sei's mum against Fumina?
Fumina.
I'd
not
have
even
to
a
go with
question.
Say's mom. I'd go with Say's mom.
Oh. Fight.
That's
fight.
fine. We'll have one each.
Okay. One for me, one for you. Everyone's happy.
We'll get onto that at a later month, though.
A little bit later.
We better. Oh my god, we better.
It's already scheduled, so we're gonna.
Yes!
Shh.
And hopefully my cosplay will be done by then.
Spoilers.
Oh, did I just spoil something? Oh gosh.
Maybe my gunpla will be done by then.
Maybe. And was there
Who
much
else?
else to say actually about the rest of this fight between the Papillon?
Stop.
I want to talk about the comedic scene after the fight. When,
Yeah, we can move on to that because the fight itself was cool. Because like after she gets her brain turned back on again, and I also really liked where Say gets China to give her the
crystal.
the crystal, and the chap's just like, wear that. You have to get used to having fans. Just like, oh, because someone really would go and cheer for the lady who's like, I'm dressed
Brutally
as a robot.
It's good cosplay. So Eric, you should have loved her. She was in cosplay.
It was a great design. I mean, the first time I saw it, I'm like, why is that a thing? I just chalked it up
you're
to
evil.
something that I didn't know.
I wonder if
Yeah.
you're the good guy or not.
But then when we
Yeah.
got her flashback, I'm like, oh, okay, so it makes sense that she
Can I
has
also
this
just say,
because
a thing that makes me love Isla even more is her pajamas, like with like the baggy 3/4 lengths, and just what she wears when she's lounging. It's adorable.
Yeah, man. 3/4 too
oh, when they like had this little sleepover.
Yeah, just the little
She-
bits where you see her like in her own room and she's like, Yada, I don't want to Gunpla anymore. She's like, well, you're gonna live on the street. And she's like, okay, I'll do Gunpla today.
Poor Babby.
Oh wait, did we? Oh no.
We haven't mentioned the baseball episode.
Oh
Yeah,
shit!
that
Yeah.
Oh,
How
the
can we forget
baseball
the
episode?
base-
Which is just
That
like,
was
they've
the
already
most
tangled with this guy.
jarring
But it's like, but it's just so weird because it was like, right, everyone gets a weapon. I was expecting to get like a paint roller or something. And it's like, he gets a glove and some balls, and then he gets a baseball bat, and it's like, apparently this is now a baseball Gunpla thing.
I like how they went. We're not going to beat each other up with the baseball bat.
Yeah.
and stuff.
So we just
We're
had,
We're
like,
going to play baseball.
because like
I like
the
how
bat
they
being
went-
spiky is pointless. Well, not pointless, but it was like it doesn't aid baseball.
Area 14 baseball court. I just like
And it
the
was-
fact that they were like, these weapons are completely random. You're going to get completely random allocation of weapons. That's absolutely fine. Oh look, the Thai baseball champion,
Yeah.
whatever they call it,
It's a baseball.
gets the baseball bat, and his opponent gets a mitt and some balls. That's random. Obviously, what a funny coincidence.
Well. It's not. The fact that they were
Random,
paired against
yeah.
each other isn't random.
no, I know, but it was the fact that him
Yeah,
being a
him
baseball,
getting
like an
the
ace
baseball
baseball
thing is obviously.
It was
what
all
makes
part of their
But, yeah,
plan.
I mean,
Well,
obviously
we
they
know it's
they
part of their
matched it.
plan, but obviously those two things were meant to go together because they were 43 and 44, and it said that people paired together. The numbers that are next to each other are paired to each other in the bracket.
Oh, right, okay.
You know, in classic
So it's not going to
tournament
be
style.
like, right, this person gets this little spray paint gun, and this person gets a ball and a hat.
I'm going to be right back. Buddy.
Ball in the
Okie
cup. That's what they need, ball in the
Okay.
cup.
It's actually funny that that whole baseball thing happened right after Reiji took a baseball to the wrist. Took a baseball bat to the wrist.
Yeah, we haven't
Yeah.
actually spoken about that. Because
They
like
just
that's
pranked it.
that's the one part of the show when the problems aren't solved by Gunpla.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because that's just like, right, okay, instead of me protecting my woman with Gunpla, it's just like, fight me, bro.
You
It's
should
just good thing they didn't just hit him on the crystal, and they were just like, oh shit, you broke my crystal.
Bye.
On my phone now.
I should have. Yeah, they should have just done it with Gunpla. That would have been hilarious.
Hmm.
Yep.
Three on mommy, bro.
But what
With
was
the
the
Gunpla?
what was the comedy scene you were mentioning after the fight between with Isla?
And I mentioned it before when
Oh, just the one in the
Let's
room with
say-
the towel.
Yeah, when Sei and Sheena come in like, oh, we have food for you, and Isla just comes out of the bathroom with a towel. She's like, oh, is that famous bento? And you just see their faces like, explain yourself. I thought you were going out with Sheena, and they just get the most adorable looks on their faces.
That was so good.
That was great.
And it was also great where it follows is like, right, you're staying in our room now, and then he tells her the story, and she's like, that's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
The pajama party of the 3 best girls.
Yep. Oh, what I wouldn't have given to be in that room. Like, if I'd happily be a lamp. I'd be like a tatami mat, like a freaking anything. That's just like.
Of course, you'd be a tatami mat because then they have to lie on you.
Yeah.
No, I want to be a futon. Then they'd be lying. Then they would be lying on me.
Yep. I'm just putting Ral back on the screen for a bit whilst we talk about this, because I think this is definitely the sort of situation where Ral's bottom would be itching.
This is no Zaku, boy. No Zaku.
Okay. So after this match, Ebby's back. Let's wait until Ebby's back to.
Okay.
Hello, Ebby. Did you have any thoughts on the scene where Isla explains her life story to China and Sei's mum, and they start crying over it?
The furthest we got was we wish we were in the room.
It was good.
Okay, banging. So after this, we have the little sort of festival section before we move on to the last fight, don't we?
Oh no! Isn't
what was after?
After was the fight between the 2 Meijings, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, sorry. We mentioned that earlier already, didn't we?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I love the thing with the whole.
We didn't actually talk about the fight itself, with the after images.
Yeah.
It's like his paint peels off. That's how this happens.
That's how I fell in love with the Exia, even though I had no idea where it was from.
And it just made me sad how this was the only bit we see the amazing Exia, because it's changed. It swaps out fairly promptly.
Yeah, the amazing Exia's design is really nice as well. I just like it. It's slick.
And they kept the Trans Am, which was pro.
I like the Trans Am.
Trans Am is like one of the most broken things in Gundam battles, next to funnels, because if you have one, you accelerate at the speed of sound or something, and you have all these after images.
I forget why what the sort of general justification of Trans Am was. It was kind of just like pushing the GN drive to its utmost limits, basically.
Yeah. It like generated particles faster or something in the show. I have no idea what it does in Double O.
It's kind of similar because, well, Plavsky particles are called Plavsky particles because it's based on Minovsky particles, which is a thing throughout all of Gundam, and it's kind of a big well of fish that we won't go into. But they do have some grounding, so is there some kind of comparison? And in Double O, they're GN particles, so kind of a thing.
That makes sense.
That
way cool. I don't get confused because I'm watching Double O now.
Yeah. That
way I don't get confused when they explain it and they don't say Plavsky particles. They'll be like, so what do they use in those Plavsky particles?
I'm just expecting Plavsky particles all over the place.
Because that's what's the weird thing is I was looking up on like some timeline information, and because Gundam Build Fighters is set in our world, but Gundam 00 is also set in our world, just like fucking way off into the future. And so I was looking at it, I was thinking, does that mean maybe Build Fighters and 00 are canon to each other? It's like, no, that can't be, because they use the 00 suits in there. So there are 2 Gundam series set in the same universe. They're actually set in different universes to complicate things even more. But there we go.
Actually, that reminds me of a scene. I can't remember where it was, but it was definitely after when they fought Mills, and he was trying to get information on Plavsky particles because he knew it had something to do with Red Seiji. So he does hypnosis on Sei.
Oh, this bit. I love this bit.
And he's like, try to remember like when you were 5 or something. And he's just sitting there quoting every line from like Mobile Suit Gundam.
Sei, you made us late. No, it was Nils that made us late. Oh, well, I didn't expect you to recite every single line from all 40 whatever
'Cause he
episodes of
starts off by
Gundam.
reciting literally like the most iconic section that's most recognizable, in the like Amuro getting punched by Bright, and he's just like, even my dad didn't punch me.
Oh, so
Oh.
good.
The in between like comedy moments between each fight, it just sort of helped alleviate yet at the
Yeah.
same time build up the hype
It
of
was-
all of the
well, not even
fights.
just build up the hype. It's those sections that make you love the characters so much. Because when you spend time with them outside of the battles, it's just like, man, these guys are great. Like, I just adore spending time with all these people. And then when it comes
That's
to
the nice thing about them as well. The nice thing about them is just the fact that it doesn't take much. It really doesn't take much to get you to love these characters. Just
No.
you know, the odd scene or two, and you're hooked straight away
Yeah,
because
pretty
they're so simple in their adorableness.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing because I know that a lot of Gundam fans didn't like this show because it's not a Gundam show. And I know that some people might have righted this off because it's a kids show, but sometimes the best stories are the simplest ones.
Oh,
or
yeah,
the
of
best
course.
characters
Yeah.
are the simplest ones.
And I mean, this is Beyblade, you know?
Yeah.
How could you go wrong, right, Obi?
Right. Apart from apparently with that whole storyline with Zio, that you could go wrong with.
And
So
And after-
now we can move on to the festival. little
the
episode.
festival.
I loved this so much because it's like, first and foremost, they kind of start off the episode by bringing in the 1-to-1 scale Gundam that's in Odaiba, and then like
Is
we
that
ship
still
this.
there? Or did
Yeah,
that-
that's still there.
It's real, right?
Yeah, that was made, and
Yeah, it's-
they're like, we shipped this in from Odaiba, and today we made a Zaku to go with it, and I'm just like, oh, please do that IRL.
Can you imagine
Would,
if
would
they
you
like?
go to Japan to see a 1-to-1 scale Zaku?
I'll go to see the thing is, like, it's gonna take a lot for me to be able to go to Japan, but that would make it a lot. I get to
It,
see.
it would ease
It'd be
me.
worth it.
Yeah, I get to see a Zaku, an RX-78, and Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can you imagine if somebody tripped over and went, "Oh no, I spilt Plavsky particles all over the 1-to-1 scale Gundam"?
it'd be fine
Or-
because it's not made out of the plastic.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
That's
What
a
if
good
it
point.
is? Oh.
Oh,
Honest to God, I thought that was what was going to happen at the end when the crystal was going
Oh,
crazy. I'm
God,
like,
that's-
oh
oh,
my
shit.
God, those statues are outside. What's going to happen?
that's a point actually. They could have easily put that in there,
That would have been amazing.
and it had it so they had to kill the 1-to-1 scale Gundams with 1-to-1 44 scale Gundams. That would be pro. Oh my God, why didn't they do that?
Again,
Right.
Sunrise.
Again,
Sunrise.
get us in. Get us in for season 3. Get us in for Build Fighters Quad or Sept or whatever you want to jump to. Like,
Let us write this.
yeah, this episode I mentioned this yesterday actually. It is the episode where the references of the series are most shrewd and obvious.
Oh, yeah,
Because throughout the
because
entire show,
everyone's there.
like its references are very heavy and very sort of key to why I got some extra enjoyment out of it. Even though obviously you guys wouldn't have gotten any of the references apart from Cam with the Gal Gaigar one.
Oh
At the
yeah, I
start,
forgot to
which
mention that.
if
this time, right?
if you wanted to brush over that, explain that again.
Yeah, certainly. So I really like Go Go Go, and
Go
I
go
wasn't-
go 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 go.
in the very first episode when Reiji's like on the roof of that building, and there's like a security officer that turns up and goes, "Kid, you can't be up here," and Reiji's like, "Calm down, old man, it's fine." And then the security officer turns around and goes, "Don't call me an old man, I'm 25." That's like the catchphrase of the main character in Go Gaigar, who's aptly named Guy.
Yeah.
They made that joke all the time because he's like this 25-year-old guy, lol, hanging out with loads of kids, and they'd all call him old man. He's like, "No, I'm only 25." So seeing that in the first episode, I was just like, what? They just randomly thrown in a Go Gaigar reference. I suddenly feel welcome
Yep.
in this show.
Just like
I think that-
I'm meant to be.
That's
here.
what hooked me straight away. I was just like, oh wow, no, I'm that's it, I'm in. Count me in.
Yeah, just the amount of things that they do in the show where it just kind of like season like tries actually there's a lot more in there that really got me in terms of like specific references to certain things, more amusing ones anyway. But in the festival episode, just like every single main character, main heroine, a lot of side characters as well from every Gundam series are there. Like there's a point where Say's dad's on a bench, Shah Aznabul's there. Like everyone's there, and it's so funny in the little under the tent where people are building Gunpla, they're all just building the suits that they pilot in the series. It's so good because it's just like, oh look, there's Dome and Cash with his brother as a child, like building this a shining Gundam, and it's so good.
Yeah, I didn't get any of the references, but just the abundance of panning shots they had over
Yeah.
just like these
You
groups of
could
people.
tell.
I'm like,
I
could tell. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, you're an important person. You're an important person. No idea where you're from
Yeah.
though. But I'm sure some people do.
You could tell with a lot of them just because the way that they were like drawn was completely different.
Yeah,
Like,
just
there was
the-
one
the-
character
the
that I saw.
style.
They had like pink purple hair, and the hair was just drawn in a completely different way to
Yeah,
every other
that's- that-
character
that's-
ever.
That's Haman Khan.
Yep.
The original pilot of the Cubulate, which was turned into the Cubulate Papillon in this series. There you go.
There you go then.
And everyone's like, "Shut up, Alan."
shut up, you nerd, you Gundam nerd.
Nerd.
And also in this episode, we got that we mentioned briefly earlier, the little sort of like side battle tournament thing.
Yeah, man. With,
but we
with
didn't talk.
Gamboy.
Yep. But we didn't talk about the bit where we had Sei versus Reiji.
That was
Yes,
was
great.
cool.
True.
That was. I thought like maybe that was gonna be the last fight of the series or something. Sort of like a callback to Yu-Gi-Oh, where you have the two Yugis duel each
Yeah.
other at the absolute end.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I was kind of annoyed that the last fight wasn't. Wait, are we on the last fight yet? Can I talk about that?
No.
Or
We
should I
can,
wait?
we can move
Okay.
on to the last fight.
That the last like big standoff thing wasn't Yuki versus Sei and Reiji for some reason, because I was just like, but why is everyone friendly now, and why was that not the finale? Why was that episode 24? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Wait.
Well, by the fact that you weren't a fan of the fact that
No, it's just because that's what I'm
He was
used to in
getting taken
everything
over.
else.
Yeah.
That's what I'm used to with everything else I've seen like that. So I was like, but it should end and there's still another episode. I don't understand why the Rock is now glowing gold. Why is everything going wrong? I don't understand.
Because
Oh,
they need
you
to
mean-
end the series.
Yeah.
Because of course the big crystal had just somehow managed to become a massive plot point without us really
Yeah.
noticing, because of the whole side story with Nils Nielsen.
yeah.
And then all of a sudden they had to do something about this big rock, otherwise
Oh.
it would render their storyline completely pointless.
My favourite
Yep.
thing in anime is when the butler is always called Sebastian. That makes
Yeah.
me happy.
Just like in the West, the butler's always called Jeeves.
Sebastian.
Get the
But,
car,
like the actual
Jeeves.
the actual kind of like the final fight that's not actually the final fight yet. The final of the tournament anyway was so good.
Yeah.
Like the actual sort of the things that happened in the battle, like the fact that they were obviously got cheated to fuck them back. Like it's like change,
Are you
The fucking
people
swords.
field 6 space
Space.
and shout out to field 9 dessert.
It's
It's not dessert, bro. That's a desert. There's no jelly.
Sand.
There's no ice
Dessert.
cream there, unless it's like not actually sand. It's like crushed up digestive biscuit.
Or
And it's just like-
sugar.
Yeah, it's brown sugar.
Brown sugar.
But the fight was sick because it's just like so much happens in the beginning of it, and then they go indoors and he gets tied to the wall, and then it's just like, "No, man, we'll give up. We can't do it." And it's like, "Yeah, we can."
You just gotta believe.
Yep.
Always believe.
And like the Exia Dark Matter was pro.
Oh.
So just like black and red and death, and then at the end of the bit, it's just like, yeah, my backpack. I can put my GN drive in it. It turns into a bird.
I can't wait when that finally they restock on that and I can finally get that in the mail. I can't wait.
Yeah. And you tweet that, or
I will
you,
tweet.
you let me know when that comes in, and we do a Gunpla stream.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
I'll tell you one thing that I don't like about the fact that like the fights in this is that there just isn't a referee to be like, yo, there's something up here.
At first,
Yeah.
At first, I genuinely felt that Ral was going to end up being like Mr. Referee from Mesobots, because it seemed to get to a point where if ever there was a Gunpla fight that there wasn't like an official one, Ral would just pop up and be like, "This is a Gunpla battle."
Yep.
and start explaining everything. I was like, is Ral seriously just going to be Mr. Referee? Is that what's going on here?
Someone said, James said in chat, "Where's that ref hanging out with the Kuroko no Basket ref in a pub somewhere?"
Shouldn't we be doing something? I mean, you got a game on now. I'll just have another drink.
Or if they had like the guy from G before every fight, where he just goes like, "Gundam fighter, ready, go!" And just do that with
what
Gunpla.
annoyed me the most was when Say's dad was like, "I'm gonna go sort this out because
Yeah.
something's wrong here," and everyone was like,
No,
"You
don't.
don't do that."
This
and I'm
is
like,
between
you
them."
do. That's what you do.
It's his
That's
job.
your
He's the Gunpla police.
I guess the closest thing to a ref was like the chairman and Miss whatever her name was. It was like,
Baker.
oh no, this Miss Maker the rules up more like.
Oh.
Oh snap!
But the end of that fight was so cool, and it's good.
Yeah.
It was good.
He takes his sword and he throws it through
Yeah, like which
yeah.
is
the
just
particle hole
it stabs
and just
it.
creates this big like
It was
shot.
and I really liked in that fight how it actually used pretty much all of the forms.
Shoot! Someone's at my door. Be right back.
Okay. It uses all of the different forms of the Star Build Strike's kind of discharge system.
Yeah.
It starts up and he does the big super cannon thing off the bat, but it doesn't take as long to charge, like anywhere near as long to charge as it did in the fight against the Zaku, which I guess we can go, yeah, you upgraded it, it's fine. But it also in that sort of opening section, it sort of made it seem as though with Meijin being under the mind control, that he lost a lot of his own talents. Because like Meijin wouldn't have just blindlessly shot beam rifles at Rey. Because Say rather, not Rey. Because he knows full well that he can suck it up and get his powers. But right off the bat at the start of the fight, he shoots beam rifle at him. So I think that he wouldn't have done that if it wasn't under the control of the magical spells.
If he wasn't under magical mind steroids, really angry.
So there we go. That's pretty much that fight. It was cool.
It was cool.
Had
And then
control
it all goes horribly
Yep.
wrong.
It all went
Yeah.
ping-tong. But before we move on to that, actually, have we? I just want to briefly shout to the sequences of Say's dad, like going back to the shop and them not being there, and him in the house like just eating noodles, and like complete
When
slob
were
who
they?
can't control anything, and then he watches telly and goes, "Oh shit,
That's where they are.
there they are."
So
Oh.
Also, one more
Say
thing about
stuff.
that last fight. That scene where like shoot, what is it? The field was dissipating and he
Yeah.
was slowly rising up with his fist in the air.
Yeah.
Is that a reference to something else?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I just wanted to see if it was because that was like a great final scene.
Yeah.
it,
Before
it just
everything
looked like
goes
it
to
should have
shit.
been a reference.
It looks like
Yeah,
it looks like it
and
should have been
looked like
referenced
it.
to something.
I'm like, is that a reference to? Did someone go out like that or something?
Well, I just love that. That's sort of like that final closing moments were so pro because it's just like, oh god, is he won? Is he won? Is he won? He just stands up, and then it's like, battle ended, and it's like, ah! And then the world explodes, and the last episode happens.
Yep.
Fair guy got broke,
where,
guy.
where the crystal just transforms into a friggin' space station, massive thing.
Man, that's fucking Albawaku. That's
What is that?
It's basically like a massive sort of colony ship thing, like war
Right.
station where they make mobile suits and stuff. It's
Right.
basically the final battle of 0079 is takes place like near that thing,
Mhm.
like invading that thing, trying to destroy that thing or whatever. It was good, and I just love how crazy out of control everything went, because it's just it's like, oh shit, the particles are going everywhere. Let's get everyone evacuated. It's like, right, I'm just gonna put my gunpla down now, and we're gonna go fuck
gonna-
up the crystal.
We're gonna go have a Barney.
Yeah, it's like,
Fair
I will
guy-
too. Me too.
Fair guy got his head smashed open, and I didn't like it.
Bear guy saved the world.
He got
Yeah.
smashed by massive
That guy's a
plasma
hero.
super cannon.
Yep. Bear
It
guy
was
saved
cool.
the world, Abby.
It was cool.
Bear guy saved the world.
I know him.
I know what you're doing. Bear guy saved the world. Bye
Bear
bye,
man was
Eric's
cool.
dog.
Yep, my brother just took my dog. Not a word, just came in, took my dog, and left. Unbelievable.
If you want it back, you have to fight me with Gunpla.
I challenge you to a Gunpla match.
I'll
Challenge you
use
to a duel.
Gundog.
Zoids.
I'll use my GM Sniper K9.
Aside from all of my personal perceptions on how I am used to series ending that are similar to this, I thought this fight was pretty good. Apart from Bear Guy being like dead.
It was good
That
because
didn't make me
it was. It's good because it was completely different, and it just
Yeah.
gave everyone a chance to
Yeah,
get stuck
it was
in
everyone
and all work
working
together.
and it was
Yeah.
cool.
And you
And
get to see the crossbone Mao. Oh,
Yeah, and the bit
that was
I
good.
just kind of loved how in the last episode it just plays the openings, because whenever
Yeah.
any show does that, it's
Yep.
pro, and just like the openings start playing, and then like when they go into the room, and then he's like, "Oh, here's a new form. Let's put the
Let's
Mark
put
II
the pack
backpack on
onto the
on
Bill
the Build
Strike."
Strike." It's like, yeah, buy both kits to do this. That all blows up, and then when
And-
everything's disappearing, it's just like, yeah, oh, I'm disappearing now.
This is
And
like the
the
end
cha-
of Yu-Gi-Oh! Apart from
yeah,
it happens
the-
much sooner and
The
much more abruptly.
the chairman
I
disappears.
kind of like how they kind of hold it back. So
Yeah.
like you say, the chairman disappears.
And it's like, Reiji! And it's like, yo.
I'm like, oh, he's gonna stay.
But they make it worse in a way because they think, oh, it's all right, and then he just goes. He's like, bye.
No, they like draw it out kind of because
Yeah, exactly. They
Well-
just drag it out.
after he convinces Sei to finally like fight because he knows he has the potential, you just see the
Yeah.
little crack in the jump. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh no.
And just making sure to sort of finish the fight, like, at
Yeah.
that moment was so cool. Because it's just like, right, let's finish this, because this could be the last thing. And Kirara goes and grabs the video
microphone.
camera. And it's just like, this is the last thing ever. You guys need to make sure you're watching this. And then
You know
he
that bit where he
disappears
goes to give him the
mid-fight.
high five
Yeah.
and he disappears
Oh.
just before the
Oh
high
my
five?
God.
I was like,
"Aw."
that's not okay.
It's the whole thing from Kuroko, isn't it, with the fist
Yeah.
bump doesn't return.
So if you think about it,
That means he has to
if
come
he had
back.
disappeared a second later when they were touching hands, Sei would have just
So just gone with him.
Yeah.
Bye.
Well, the thing is, they had to show his hand because off camera, Isla was just running at him and just kind
Yeah.
of like
You
gave him a
forgot your
frickin-
Gundam!
just like spearing. It's like,
What are you
remember your
doing here?"
promise, Baka! It's like, I love you,
Actually,
Isla.
I don't think that's how she got there because she still had the crystal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's might be.
I
what
think she just
happened.
disappeared when that thing
Well.
She
disappeared also.
followed her heart.
Because it would have been really awkward if
Well,
like
the
they were
thing is,
having
I-
this moment
I
and
think
just
she
Aya
would
comes out of
have.
nowhere.
I feel like she probably did touch him in some way because they show everyone else looking on when they're doing the high five or whatever, and she's not standing in the crowd.
Oh.
She's just hugging his leg,
Maybe-
no
yeah,
one
she-
noticed.
Maybe she's already gone by that point. Who
Maybe.
knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Maybe she went with the others.
It was such a lovely ending though. It
Yeah.
really was.
Perfect ending.
It's heart
And they played
wrenching,
it.
but good.
And
It was
then they
just
played
so-
the end.
the thing is, so much freaking happens in the last episode, but it doesn't feel rushed at all. Like
Nope.
it doesn't feel.
It does when you're watching it at 1.5 speed.
Right, so that's the end of the show. It was what was stuff. Well, there's the epilogue stuff where it's just like
Yes.
where Plavsky particles were gone for all of about 5 seconds, and then it's just like, right, Sei's back and it's like, build a strike Cosmosu, and then it does this fucking insane, crazy shit, and we're like, man, I want to see that in action.
Who knows? Maybe we will and try.
Maybe.
I hope we do.
I hope we do. But
Be really upset.
now we talk about some other stuff. So some character designs and that kind of thing. I absolutely adore.
We're really
Love
going
the
to take the time
designs.
to talk about character designs when we've already been doing this.
We've been
for
going
2
for nearly
hours.
2 hours.
Character designs are important though.
They are, and they're all wonderful.
Yeah,
I
like
don't think there's a character
Reiji's
design
and
I
Meijin
didn't like.
Kawaguchi's were my favourite. Well, after Sei's mum and all that.
Yeah, Sei's mom. I mean, she's just like a constant at the top.
Yeah.
You can't really
Yeah.
argue that one. But yeah, I mean, everyone was just again,
Everyone was
it was
very
just-
distinct. And
Yeah,
well
they were
done.
distinct, but it was the thing of it's the beauty of simplicity. All the character designs were quite simplistic,
Yeah.
but that's what made them all
And they have
individually
these sort
stand
of
out
like
as well.
defining quirks and
Yeah.
stuff like that, like Reiji's sunglasses. Well, Reiji's everything because he's got his kind of like Nazi trousers, his cool waistcoat with the design on it, and his
Yeah.
like
His red hair.
sunglasses and his red hair. So he's just like generally standing out and being an all-around super boss. Oh, it's lovely. The show was like animated gloriously. There's no like garish CG or
Isn't-
anything like that. It looked nice.
Yeah, that was what was really surprising because even though I don't watch a lot of stuff by Sunrise, I know that like Valvrave and all these other shows have had CG in them.
Mhm.
There was not a single speck
Yeah,
of
it was
CG.
so on point. It looks gorgeous. I love it. It's
And colorful too.
I really want to see this to be a trend.
It was like a big harkening back to see we can still draw all of this stuff
Yep.
and it can look really good. We just won't for a while.
Well, it's just with this, they're just like, right, we can afford to draw this because we know how many pre-orders we've just cashed in.
We're gonna sell so many Gunpla with all these customs and everything.
Like, we might as well just make it stop motion with the Gunpla that we're selling at this point.
Genius. What I want to say is before I forget, the music
Yeah.
in this show
Oh.
It's
was
so fucking
amazing.
good. Like,
I know. Fine.
Beautiful
Yeah.
soundtrack.
there's so many different like varied influences and stuff. Like Fellini's character song has like accordions going on. There's the obvious
Yeah.
flamenco stuff for Meijin. It's so like out there and not really what you'd expect to
Spanish
hear.
good-
Oh shit, Eric.
Oh,
Oh wait. Oh, look at
Yeah,
that
it's
face.
like-
There's one moment whilst Eric snarls.
Hopefully he doesn't drop.
No.
oh, I thought I dropped for.
Oh. Okay.
Oh,
Are we back? Are we back?
it's coming
Wait,
back.
can you see it right? Can
Eric.
you can or see me?
Oh gosh.
Wait.
Okay.
Hey,
We're back.
he's back.
Wait. We're back.
I'm back.
Yeah.
You're back.
Sweet.
You can see me.
Yes.
Okay. I was
Yeah.
really. I'm looking at my phone like, please tell me the Wi-Fi didn't just die. Fuck. Okay. Oh God, what happened to Alan?
No, I'm good. I might have
fine.
just sat still momentarily,
Right.
unless I'm not coming through right on your end. Anyway.
Oh,
we
okay.
were talking about you were saying something about the music, Eric.
Yeah.
Yeah, the music just meshes so many different styles and influences together. There's Spanish, there's Italian, there's electric rap, there's
Yeah.
there's English. Even some lyrics are in Spanish. I'm like, why don't more soundtracks
Yeah.
like diverse like this?
And I think the
It's
special
great.
thing. The special thing about it is that whilst there are so many different styles and influences and sounds, it's all got this kind of uniform feel that works and works so well in the context of toys fighting. And it was really great, and it only impressed me further. Just another thing that just like added to all the hype and stuff that was going
Yeah,
on, and
exactly.
definitely complemented everything really well.
Yeah, it really kind of brought it all out and made it all
And it's-
even more intense.
And it's definitely something that I'd go away and listen to outside of the show as well, which is something that even some of the soundtracks I adore, I don't really like listening to outside of the series. But
It's definitely, I'd say it's definitely music for the gym for me. It's going in the gym playlist. That soundtrack.
I'll just put on the flamenco music. I will be Meijin. I will be Meijin Kawaguchi. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be Tensei Gucci. Well, that just sounds like Tensei Twister sponsored by the fashion brand Gucci. But
Hey man, you never know. I've sent some emails. It could happen.
and there's the
knows?
openings, which
Oh!
the openings were so good. Like, can I just say,
love Back On.
Back On is
so
so
much.
good. Like, I first got my exposure to Back On with the Air Gear opening.
Yes.
Way back in the day.
Good old
And
chain.
I thought
Yeah.
I got my dry shield with like the second or third opening was done by Back On.
The
I
music's
love
so
their
good.
music.
It's so like I just love the lyrics as well when you read them, and it's just so like inspiring, and it's just so uplifting, and just like we will fight together as friends, and together we will, and the color of our dreams will unite and make a rainbow. It's so good. Like the lyrics are amazing.
Can you do
And
a
half
cover,
of them are in
please?
English too, so you can like sing
Yeah.
along with them to an extent. I love the openings.
I love
Some of
it.
my
The first opening in particular,
Yeah,
I
the first
just
opening I
blew me
definitely
away.
prefer.
Oh, it's so good.
Itori janai. Whoa, Gundam, flashback, mashup.
You know what? Going all the way back to the beginning of the stream. You know when I said that my test stream got flagged for copyright.
Yeah.
That was
Was
why.
it because you were listening to music and
I was
playing
listening.
DJ?
I was no, it was because I was listening to the opening of Gundam Build Fighters. That exact song. While we were doing the test stream. That'll be why I got flagged for copyright
Oh dear.
on a private stream.
Ah,
Because that song is just too good.
I
man,
hope
YouTube's
you
just
didn't get a
broken.
strike or anything over it.
Oh no! It's
No, it's just a content ID.
yeah, it's happened to me before, and I just deleted the video as soon as it appeared on my feed. So we're all good.
Smashing.
We're all
No
good.
Right.
Oh, the second
is-
ending.
Is... Oh, what do you say
The
about
ending
it?
songs for Gundam Build Fighters. The second ending, and someone actually pointed this out in the chat. When I heard the second ending, I looked it up online to like get the full song, and there was a music video of like a little boy time traveling to get like these super nice designer pants. And it was like the most adorable thing I have ever seen.
That's amazing.
I didn't get to listen to the EDs because I wasn't.
Neither did
I didn't have the time. But I was watching all the episodes in like 1.5 speed, so I was like pressing skip whenever my button got to the skip button. And I like all I heard of it before the video like went away and loaded the next one was potato chips, and I was like,
Yeah,
what?
I love that song. Potato chips.
Oh man.
That's so good.
And I was
And there's
positive
also,
that I'd
like,
heard it wrong,
A
but
bit in
apparently
the ED
not.
where people are like, I think it's the first ED where they were dressed up as the mobile suits, as the Gunpla rather. So Reiji's like the Mark II and everything, and China's the bear guy in that outfit.
Yeah.
Aw,
It's so
where they're
adorable.
like in the little costumes. That was great.
Right, shall we? Shall we move into final thoughts because we've been
Yes.
here for 2 hours now.
Yes, please.
Yes,
Yes.
let's do it.
Okay, I am Back a Shift. I am Alan, and my final thoughts on Gundam Build Fighters are. It was fucking
Hate it.
amazing. Like it was everything I could have hoped for and more. I know it's not a Gundam show. It's a fucking shonen sports series about magic toys. What more could you want? Like it gets people in, even outside of the fact that I love the show itself. I love what it's done. I love how many people have gotten into Gundam and Gunpla through it, because someone can transition off of a sports series, go into this, enjoy this, and then be like, I want to build Gunpla, and you know what? I think I'll watch Gundam. Like it's so good for getting in new people. There's just like nothing in the show I don't like. I adore all of the characters. I think the only thing I don't like about the show is the Sengoku Astray, which just looks disgusting, but that's neither here or there. The only problems I have with the series are things that I hope will get fixed in a future series, which is basically the fact that Aryan as a thing is so... Like, if Aryan never gets spoken of again, then it didn't need to be in this. They could have had something else replacing the source of the particles for Aryan to actually be necessary, I guess. Because, like, if at some point in the future I get some more sort of story into Aryan and the world itself, it would be a lot better. But that's kind of one of the only things that I didn't really enjoy about this.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was just something that they just drop.
Yeah.
Like, kind of, they'll go on for ages without even mentioning it, and then all of a sudden it'll just be like, oh, by the way, it's back.
Yeah. And that'll be fine. Like, I'll be fine as long as it does come back and we do get some more in there, because it's potentially
Get some
very...
kind of, yeah,
it's,
kind of
it's
get some
potentially
closure on
very
it.
interesting.
Yeah.
It's potentially very interesting, but with that, it's Gundam Build Fighters. Like, it's absolutely wonderful. It gets a very, very, very strong 8 out of 10 from me. I want to give it more, but I can't push myself to at this moment in time.
Go on, you can do it.
It's special Alan rating 11 out of 5. Over to you, Abby.
I don't really have much more to say about this show that hasn't already been said. I really, really, really liked it. I thought it was way more accessible than I thought it was going to be. Because I definitely thought, since I've watched a total of about 4 Gundam episodes before, that I was just going to be completely lost and not really understand what the hell was going on. But it didn't. It wasn't. You didn't have to know shit tons about Gundam to get tons of enjoyment out of it, which was something I definitely appreciated. And it reminded me of Beyblade, so 10 out of 10. No, I'd give it a 7. 7 out of 10.
Ain't bad. I'm sure you give it an 8 if you watched it in full speed.
Maybe.
Tensei Twonky?
Gundam Build Fighters. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know, it's captured my imagination, and just, it made, like, watching it back, even though I really had to, like, cram it in there, this is the first show where I've watched it all the way through, and I'm seriously considering just watching it again, because
Yeah.
I feel like, because I crammed it all into one day, I missed so much that I would have really enjoyed. Some of it as well, I was doing other stuff at the same time, because I was so busy, and I feel like I really want to go in and watch it again. Just because I feel like I get that again, and like I said earlier on, it harkened me back to my childhood, being a kid watching Gundam Wing, not having a clue what the hell was going on, but didn't give a shit because robots are so cool, and these just like toy robots fighting each other in this kind of setting that reminded me of all the things that I loved when I was a kid, all the shows that I used to watch on Fox Kids, whatever, back when it was Fox Kids, bloody hell. And yeah, so even though I'm not a massive fan of Gundam, like I am a fan of Gundam, I like Gundam, but I wouldn't say I'm a big fan of it. You know, I've touched on it a couple of times, watched a couple of shows, yeah, whatever, I've dabbled. However, if I was to be specific and talk about Gundam Build Fighters, I am now a massive fan of Gundam Build Fighters as a whole. That little pocket universe is possibly one of my favourite things to ever exist. It's fantastic. I love it. Special cam rating 10 out of 10.
Oh man.
Oh.
I'm
You do not
so happy.
understand how much I love this show. Oh my god.
Yeah, one thing I
And it
didn't
gets
actually say before, which is just kind of an open thing. It's just this show just makes me so happy.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
like I can't not be happy when I watch it.
It reminded me of, this is one of those shows that reminds me why I watch anime. This is exactly everything that I want in an anime and more as well, because it connects with a franchise that I've always felt so dissonant from. You know, Gundam is a thing I've kind of thought I'll never be able to get into that because it's so dense. The continuity is so dense. It's like when you want to get into comic books. Like anyone who wants to get into comic books from scratch now, they have to get through like decades of backstory to understand the point that you're at now. And Gundam is very similar to that. You've got so much you have to get through before you can even begin to unravel kind of the things that are happening. I remember when I watched the first episode of Gundam Unicorn, and I was just like, none of this makes any sense to me.
Yeah, you don't watch Unicorn first. There's a lot of stuff in Unicorn you just
But
can't
this thing,
get
I
into
didn't
without.
know that. I was just like, it's a new Gundam, wicked, I'm going to watch it. What the hell?
We watched it
So-
in Anime Club.
Yeah, no, I put it on in Anime Club, didn't I? And I was just like, this was a mistake. But Gundam Build Fighters is just perfect. It's accessible, it's fun, it's enjoyable, it's really intense, and and now I just want to build all the Gunpla ever.
Oh.
Hence why I ordered the Wing Gundam Fenice. So yeah, there you go. And I can't wait to watch Gundam Build Fighters try. I want to watch it right now.
I am a 9. I'm not an 8. Fuck.
Oh, for goodness sake.
I wanted to dial it back to an 8 because like I've just because I feel like I do love Build Fighters Try so much. I felt like I love Build Fighters Try so much more until I rewatched this. No, I'm not sure, and I'm looking forward to watching Try
part
all the
of
way
me-
through to get my head onto this.
Part of me was considering pulling it back to a 9 because I was like, I'm going to pull it back to a 9 because I haven't seen Build Fighters Try yet. But no,
At the very,
no.
it's like a very very high 8 / very low 9. Like there are very few
Fucking
things.
pick one. Fucking pick one. 8 or 9.
It's
9.
It's
It's a 9.
I just feel like there's nothing I want to change about it other than the Aryan thing, and that's not something that even bothered me that much, I guess. Whatever. Eric.
Well, I'm not sure I can.
Cue
Sorry,
I'm not
flamenco
sure.
music.
I went on one for a bit there. Right, sorry.
That's fine, bro.
I'm not sure what I can say about the show that you guys haven't said already, because I've had no experience with Gundam whatsoever. I completely wrote this. This was like the textbook definition for me of don't judge a book by its cover. At first glance, this seemed like something that would in no way, shape, or form appeal to me. Something that I probably could have gone the rest of my life not watching. But when I actually did sit down and watch it, when my friend made me sit down and watch it with him, it became one of my favorite shows. I did a tops list recently. It was in my top 3 favorite shows of 2013.
Beaten by Space Dandy, so I have
Yeah.
major respect for
I just want to put in that if I'd rewatched it more recently before making my list, I would have put it higher than I did. It would have been like number 3 or 4 probably.
It's just, it has, even though I have no experience with Gundam, it just has all the elements that harkens back to all of those shows that I used to watch as a kid, and the shows that I still watch now, because despite my serious disposition, I still watch Pokemon, I still watch Yu-Gi-Oh! There's just a charm in those shows that it's surprisingly hard to emulate, I find. And this show just like pulls it off perfectly. It has the hype, it has the action, it has the music, it has the characters that are so damn likable. I find no fault. I'm sure I like some more than others, but I can just find no fault with the characters as a whole. And I'm glad I watched it. I would love for it to be brought over to the States here, to be westernized. If this was put on TV, this could easily become like the next Digimon or something, I think. Or Pokemon, or I don't think that'll ever happen. But who knows? I don't usually give scores, but if I had to, I'd probably give it, at the very least, an 8.5. Probably leaning more towards a 9, though.
In the same pretty much area as me
Oh
then.
my god.
Yeah. Like between an 8.5 and a 9. That's where I would.
So our collective score is 35 out of 40.
Oh, that's
Yes!
sick.
Yes.
And I do
And
genuinely
it's
think,
well
Ebby,
deserved.
like if you gave it a 7 when you were watching it like in a rushed and stressed situation, watching it at like
I'm gonna-
1.5
when-
times speed.
Spoilers, we're going to do Try for Anime Club. And when we do it, I'm going to start it pretty in advance so I can watch it at my own pace, because I feel like I'd just get more enjoyment out of it that way. And I wrote the scores with the Gundam marker.
Do you want to marathon it with
We're
me
gonna-
and Cam?
We're gonna marathon it.
Yeah, me and Cam are going to watch it together in person if you wanted to come to that.
I don't want to marathon it again. Sorry.
Alright.
Can I come to the UK and watch it with you guys?
Oh yeah, like
Oh,
frickin'
yeah.
seriously. Come. If you have the money, do it.
I gotta work hard. Gotta make more money.
Oh, man. That's
Like-
so good.
So that's that. No more Gundam for a little bit. Is this the longest episode? Yeah, by the way. We're 2 hours and 10
Like,
minutes.
And just so you know, I've had a killing headache this entire thing, so I
okay.
appreciate that.
I'm
So it's
sorry.
like, bugger off.
Yeah, this is our longest episode now. Which is kind of
Yes.
amazing.
so now
Yes.
we can leave.
Yep.
Well
If you're happy,
deserved.
James.
We just went from like capping our longest episode was like an hour and 50 for like Stardust Crusaders because we spent half an hour at the end talking about like it's the end of the new year, this has been our year, and then like both Kuroko episodes were 2 hours long. Now this one, but anyway,
It's
next
amazing.
time guys we are doing the second half of MrAJCosplay. I'm not sure how many people are aware of this. We did the first part of MrAJCosplay. It was one of our first episodes, but that was back when we were on Justin TV, and everything crapped out and the VOD got lost. So that's not there. But for anyone who is interested in joining us for the second half, who hasn't seen the first half yet, we are basically doing episodes 11 to 20 of MrAJCosplay as it is listed on Crunchyroll. Because on Crunchyroll it's listed as one thing, and it's episodes 11 to 20 that we'll be going over, and we'll be doing that with Tristan.
Whoop, whoop.
With Tristan, and it's going to be at 5 p.m. EST, which is our normal time of 9 p.m. in the UK, because that's the day before we hit daylight savings, and then from there on will be normal time again.
Cool.
It's gonna be
So-
awesome.
so there we go.
I'm looking forward to seeing the second half of MrAJC. It's gonna be interesting. I need to kind of refresh my memory on the first half. I know nothing really builds because it's all episodic, isn't it?
Yeah,
But
you'll
still.
be alright.
That's all
Just-
episodic.
Just read Wikipedia, you'll be alright.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Okay, smoky. Thank you everyone for joining. Eric, again, thank you so much for joining us, and sorry to you and everyone else out there about yesterday.
Can I say a
Sort of good.
serious...
It's how we were making up for yesterday. That's why. This is the longest episode.
Yeah.
Sorry, Emmy.
Can I say like a serious go and check out his channel because he's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, I made sure to put a link to his channel in the description already.
I subscribed during the stream.
Yeah, you better. So make sure you click that link in the description and subscribe to this guy because he's lovely and beautiful and has a very nice talking voice and is good at everything that he does.
He's
So-
pretty amazing.
Oh!
Yeah,
I
knew
had
it.
to make that fun once.
I got Ebby to drop it. And with that, thank you all very much for joining us. We will see you on the 28th. I have the back shift with Tensei Twister, Jelly5, and Mr. AJ Cosplay.
It's been an
pleasure.
honor.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, B.